This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast.
Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable.
What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing.
Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
Welcome back to Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast, presented by Pilot Games. A little different episode this week. The squad on the road, they've been busy, not much player availability. So we decided to talk to the players' better halves. That's right. We got a couple. What do we call them?
I think wags. It's undetermined if that's an inappropriate or offensive comment, but we're going to go with wags. We got Mrs. Spurgeonator and Mother Goose, Goligoski, Spurgeon, wags in the house, and I think they're great. I could.
They were great. We didn't want the conversation then. It was a long one.
I would say, don't be shy about the YouTube as well. You know, they got these great holiday sweaters on. They kind of just interact with each other. I don't know. I might watch that one too. You know, listen and watch maybe.
Double dip.
Yeah, why not? Just for the sweaters alone, you got to see how they showed up like
they were ready.
It was like Def Leppard walked into the studio.
They one-upped us.
The torn jeans, the cool Christmas sweaters. Yeah, I was like right out of the chutes on my back foot because they came in hot, and they were fun. I like talking to them. They're just kind of easy breezy.
So it was a good conversation, longer podcast. So we'll just go a few minutes here on the Wild where they're at and get things kind of set up for the Christmas break, and then we'll throw it to the conversation with the Wags, and we'll leave it at that. That one can hang for a couple weeks. But before we do, Kinger, I know, don't take this the wrong way.
Oh God.
You like a good snack.
All right. Yep. I do. And actually, around the holidays, what I would do, if you're doing kind of hors d'oeuvres, don't sleep on Jimmy's salad dressings and dips. They got all these great dips that you can put in kind of nice ripple chips or maybe a veggie plate. Even their salad dressings kept in the refrigerated section carts, like a true hockey brand would be, right? I don't know, you could go a little retro with the caramel dip, but we're kind of out of that season. And of course, you got the coleslaw. So check out Jimmy's salad dressings and dips this holiday season. Family run, Minnesota made Jimmy's. Don't you be messing with my dressing. Have you constructed your holiday plans yet?
I have. And you know, there's nothing worse than going over to the in-laws' house and just having cold feet at Christmas. You got the wool socks on and you just can't get comfortable. You know, maybe you just slip in the stockings a business card for Wild Construction to those people, and maybe give them a heads up that they should look into the insulation in their home, maybe the roofing. Some of that stuff might need to be replaced. We're kind of past storm damage season. Now we're into ice dam season. So if you're driving around waiting for these snowstorms to come like I am, and you notice that there's large icicles, heat escaping the house, give your neighbor a heads up. Leave a Wild Construction card in their mailbox. These guys will take care of it. If you do think that you did have storm damage or you need new windows, check out their website. They've got a free estimate tool, a lot of resources there to make sure that you'll get your home covered so that, hey, you are comfortable at your house hosting or your in-laws come the holiday season.
Hey, you did great there, by the way. I got a funny thing. So I was giving you a hard time for, you had the research team help you with the WAGs. You got those questions written for you. I don't even know if you used any of them, but you put some people to work to prep you. So I did the same thing, but I forgot to look at it. I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, we got, Danielle Spurgeon on and Mother Goose, and what should I ask these ladies? And she actually sent me really good questions, and I didn't look at them before we recorded. So how about this? Real or fake tree? Great topic. Like, do they have a real tree or a fake tree? Do you open your gifts on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve? What are your thoughts on eggnog or nog in general? I mean, these are just, God, we have to have them back. I just totally missed out on that. I had an advanced team just like you and totally left it sitting there.
Yeah, you left some meat on the bone.
I know. I feel bad about it, but oh well. I think we did okay.
Speaking of wags, though, you brought yours to the game.
We went yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday. This is Saturday's 1:00 game.
Yeah.
How
I'm
was
4-0, by the way. 4-0.
4-0.
Have not lost. Rangers
4-0 for John O.
Rangers home opener,
this
St.
market
Louis, and now Vancouver 4-0. So if the Wild are listening, keep giving me tickets. The atmosphere is weird right now.
Wait. You always get tickets?
Sometimes I get tickets. Yeah,
Have you ever bought a ticket?
I have. But the atmosphere was odd. I would say it's the fan base is in wait and see mode. It's not electric in there, so much so that the Wave tried to get started. And if you're listening and you're a hockey fan, the Wave has no place in hockey at all. If there is a wave trying to break out, you should think of that like a rash or some sort of skin condition. It's something you got to really watch and take care of. Like I actively will try to not do the Wave. The wave only happens when people have too much time on their hands. What do they say? The devil comes from idle minds or something. That's the Wave. There's no reason for it to be in an NHL barn ever.
So what does the building need for the Wave to be no longer a thing?
I think it's all about confidence right now. I actually think this is too simple and too much pressure on one player. But there's something about 97 not firing on all cylinders that has the whole Wild universe off kilter. You felt it yesterday because he had these opportunities and he was missing the net, and he's working his ass off. I think it's undisputed that this guy cares and is an animal and a competitor, like Hines said, but it's just not clicking. And there's something like, it's like he's the star on the Christmas tree on top, and right now, like, everything's just a little crooked until he gets going. I don't know if you agree, but I really think that's because the team's winning. We're playing well against
This
the
is like a good spot to be in. This is the spot that good teams, these are the hardships that good teams don't mind working through.
Yeah, what are we, 7-2 with Hines? Something like that? I mean.
And somehow you're not satisfied. You know what I mean?
No, because the eye test, it feels like we're holding our breath through games. They're playing very well.
It's not comfortable. They haven't had a comfortable game.
No, and I will say
Maybe Seattle's game.
Vancouver's a good team though, and we won, in a shootout. Gus has been playing great, but I there's something about the hierarchy of it all, and really this edition of the Wild, this kind of current Billy Guerin era. Kirill Kaprizov is a big part of that. He's sort of like this first NHL star, first guy since Gabrick that's kind of this really big star. And so him kind of taking a minute to get out of the mud has been a little weird.
Well, I agree. For me, it's entirely offense, and it's a good thing because it's funny how similar last year is shaping up versus this year, where let's look at Gustafsson, for example. He got off to a really slow start last year. And then the second half of the year, he was like the best goaltender in the NHL.
Yep.
And very similar this year.
He's dialed right now.
He had a great first game. Then it was not great for a pretty big stretch. Now the last 7 games, 8 games, he's been terrific again. And last game was awesome. Like the number one reason that the team won that game. Last year, the Wild came out of the gates wanting to win games 5-4, and they lost. What was it? The first 4 behind the 8 ball. Couldn't catch their breath till Christmas, if you recall. Then they recommitted to a defensive-minded game, and boom, they started to win, and they went on to have a 100-point season. Well, now it seems that it's very similar. It's just that they had to mix in a coaching change to buy back into that identity of having to defend first. Now, it's still not going to be easy. I don't know how long they're going to be able to do this. Like Brock Faber being 23 years old.
We got to talk about this.
Whatever. Like that's a blessing in disguise right now, because playing 31, 32 minutes a night isn't easy. And now you're going on the road, so we'll have to get to this, but they're going on the road, Pittsburgh, Boston.
Yep.
You can't do that in back-to-back nights. And Faber was quoted the morning after the Calgary game saying, it doesn't matter if I play 35 minutes a night and my body's physically exhausted, I still can't get quality sleep. And the reason is, some people, I was this way too, you kind of go back and you replay the game in your head. You think of plays you should have had, reads that you saw, you didn't think of it, and it comes back over and over in your mind as you're staring at the ceiling late at night.
Well, Brock Faber doesn't make any mistakes, so it's easier for him.
But now that you have 30 minutes, that's like
watching a show.
That's like quadruple game film. If it keeps me up till 2 a.m, he's going to be up till 8 a.m.
Yeah, we're very similar players. I think I was just laughing last night or yesterday afternoon because he was on the ice the whole time. I mean, he's just on the ice all the time. And so is Middleton, by the way, and that needs to be mentioned. I mean, Jake's having himself a nice little season as well. But watching the young buck, the game before you said Furnace face, I was just laughing because he really had his face was starting to turn red. I thought when you said they asked him for a quote after the Calgary game, he was unavailable because he was breathing too heavily. Yeah. But I mean, he's talk about baptism by fire. Oh my God, he's on the first power play. He's playing all the time.
And sometimes that's good. You don't have any time to think about the situation that you're suddenly thrust into. It just went from, hey, maybe we'll dip the toe. We'll let you try running the second power play into
no, it's like
dumpster fire. You run on the top power play, the second power play, 3-on-3 OT every other shift.
Here's the keys to the franchise. Yeah. Also, you're Nordy in between periods. So here's the thing about Brock Faber, that this captain quality about him. And I'll tell you this story. It's a fan story, but you'll like it. So we recorded here the other day, and we were walking out of Tria, where our studio is, and Faber was coming off the ice. And he's walking in the same hallway by me. And normally, even if these guys were just on your podcast the day before, the reality is they're players, we're media. The relationship is just kind of they come on the pod. It's not like they're our buddies or anything, right? So I'm just walking by him thinking, you don't even really make eye contact. You're just kind of he's doing his thing. He's practicing. He's probably still catching his breath. And Brock Faber, being Brock Faber, he just gives me knuckles. Just walking by, just gives me knuckles. I think the whole state is rooting for this kid because he's it's almost like Neil Broughton in the beginning, even with the 7 on his jersey. He's just I think they're Brock's doing good. They're sitting at dinner, the Faber boy. He's
really doing it.
He's been a nice surprise, past the lefse or whatever. I just think it's been a really nice story. I'm looking for him. There was moments yesterday where he could have won that game too, where the puck was on his stick late, and
he caught the shoulder to Smith on that.
I mean, can you imagine that's when you'd see I might be open to the wave at that point if you get Faber to actually get the game winner when he's just gassed. But yeah, he's been an animal. So,
but that's what I think they're missing. That's what's missing right now.
Yeah, it's take the game by the throat. Somebody to be I am doing it. Deal with it.
And it's hard because you have what might be your 2 best puck-moving defensemen out of the lineup. So you look at the scores when Hines first took over. It was 3-1 St. Louis. That one was they're trying to figure some stuff out. Then they go 6 goals against Nashville, 4 Chicago, 5 against Calgary. Then they got shut out in Vancouver, and now it's been 0-3, 3-1. And they're struggling
because we can't get it out of our own end. You're saying
that's part of it. I think over time that becomes part of it. On an individual game basis, I don't know that you can pinpoint it and say part of the reason we're not scoring right now is because we don't have the puck movers. We don't have the skaters, But over 4 or 5 games, you start to see a trend. And I think that's what we're seeing all of a sudden is they're missing the puck movers. They're missing some finish there. And there isn't in the moments. And this is why finishers make the money they do in the NHL because they get that spot and it's in. Versus hitting the post or catching a shoulder. And that's the difference a lot of times.
It's that Brock Besser, right? Those true goal scorers.
Goal scorers.
Yeah, whereas Jeff Carter, Brock Besser, I mean, we miss the net a lot. That's the other thing I noticed. It's almost hey, maybe we just run a practice where we have to hit the net. I mean, have you noticed that? It seems like the team, I don't know if it's any different than any other NHL team, but I felt yesterday being in the building, sitting behind the net, 2 periods, I think they were shooting on us 2 periods. I mean, the amount of pucks that are just hitting the wall, or the glass.
It's the offensive side of the puck right now that is what's draining, not draining, but is the reason that there isn't like the massive excitement, which is the need for the wave.
There's no need for the wave.
But that's why the minds are blank.
Yeah, you're right. The wave starts
because
it's like when moss starts growing up the side of your house because you haven't lived there in a while.
Yeah, and it gets to be super challenging if you want to win every game 2-1, 3-2 in a shootout. Like the Wild have scored 3 goals in the last 2 games. They got 4 points out of it. Good for them.
Great.
They got 2 wins scoring 3 goals.
Yeah. Zuki on the shootout's the best. Just that whole, he just waits him out. There's no move, and he just beats him in a spot. It's great. He's got the long stick. We talked to some goalies about this, remember? And they said he's one of the hardest. It's unnatural. I love that. I love that he goes first, too. That guy is such a gamer. He's been great this year. He's really helped us. He's an older guy. I mean, those are big points.
Yeah, I liked yesterday that he gets hit with a shot, and it looked like his arm was dead. Did you see him go back to the bench? Shoulder was sunk, arm was dead. He couldn't move, and then he was like the Undertaker, comes out as soon as shootout. I'm good,
Yeah,
And then snipes goal. Yes, the rest is history.
Yeah, I think he's been great. He's not with his guy most of the time. He's mixing in with the other campers.
So I was sitting right next to him. Zuki, I broadcast the game from between the benches, which usually that's a fun spot. But when there's only 1 goal, and it was a Saturday afternoon game, Vikings were on at the same time.
Yeah, that was tough.
I think everybody in the building maybe had one eye on their second
phone.
screen.
I did see a lot of that. Yep.
Yeah, watching the Vikings game, and that was a letdown because that was like right in the middle of the Wild game when the Vikings hand that game over to Cincinnati.
Losers.
Yeah. Have I ever told the story in the podcast how it was a very similar situation on Sunday? I broke my finger having to fight Jordan Tutu.
I hope so. Tell me.
Really? It was the same scenario.
So the Vikings are playing?
Vikings were playing. It was an afternoon game. They were at like 3. I think we had a 5 o'clock game. Vikings lose a big match. I think it might have been a playoff game.
Okay.
And the energy in the building was just flat.
So you're telling me you were like, hey, guys, the Minnesotans are down from the Viking game. I'm going to lift our spirits with a fight?
Pretty much.
Wow, that's a local kid. That's a local perspective.
But
Wow.
so and Tutu was out of the lineup for a bit, so he was looking for a fight.
Not a good guy to fight.
No.
No.
No, I mean,
He's like an Eskimo or something, right?
Yeah,
That dude will kill you.
he's strong.
He eats like fish raw.
So we're at a face-off. We're talking, and we arrange it. He's like, "We're going now," and I said, "I'm not yet. Like I want to wait a little bit." He's like, "What are you gonna wait for?" And I was like, "I don't know, but the moment I'll let you know." And
Because that puts you in power. You're like, I'll decide when we're going to fight.
yeah, I didn't really know. I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it, but I'll let you know."
I can't imagine fighting Jordan Tutu.
So they dropped the puck, and he grabs onto my shoulder, and he won't let go.
We go now.
Yeah, he won't let go of my
So you're
jersey.
definitely losing this fight, by the way. There's no way you can win.
He won't let go of my jersey, and I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna just like get beat up without
You're
dropping
still
my
thinking
gloves.
about the Vikings.
I'm not gonna get beat up without dropping my gloves." So I dropped my gloves, and he's strong as an ox.
Yeah.
I just tried to like twist him. How I broke my finger was in his jersey, just trying to twist his body. So like I've got the hold, trying to twist so I can get it.
No, and
right.
you're like, you got like a hook finger. 'Cause
Finger snaps, boom. Finish the fight. I don't remember how the fight went. I don't think anybody really won or lost.
Well, you broke
Go to the
your
penalty
finger.
box, sit in the box, look at my finger, and it's bent the wrong way. And it's like, oh, great. I have to go to the bench now, which is also like, that's like the skate of shame. You go to the penalty box, you realize that you're,
And then what do you do?
hurt.
You signal to the bench like, hey, I got a bit of a problem here.
you just either wait for the whistle or you just go right down the tunnel. I mean, I knew my finger was busted.
It was facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, so then I go
Does he give you a little chirp?
get
when
the x-ray, and then the doctors like whisper to each other because there is a thing called like jersey finger. where it like rips the tendon off, then you're in serious trouble, I guess.
Because it gets all twisted in there.
Yeah, and then your tendon, I don't know, it must be harder to attach. I don't know.
You didn't have that, did you?
I didn't, and they're like, "Ooh, good for you. You just broke it."
Now finish the did we win the game? Did you
I
help
think
the energy?
I think we ended up winning the game.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't know if we end up however it goes. But my finger's broken. But I wanted to be like warrior guy.
Okay, you returned to the game.
Return.
Okay, nice. And what happened?
Finish the game.
Score?
No, I didn't score. Kidding me? I just wanted to finish it.
That's cool though. You came back. You walked back down the tunnel.
Every time I went to, it was my top hand ring finger. So that's the one that's on the top of the stick.
Yeah.
Kind of does the most work. Every time I would like stick handle or shoot a puck or pass it, it would like I could hear it like crunch.
No.
It's disgusting.
No.
But it was the same type of scenario. When Vikings lose during a wild game, it's flat in there.
I can see that. And there were a lot of second screens going on.
A lot of second screens. But anyways, I don't know why. Sorry, I went on that filibuster.
That was great. I mean, anything involving Jordan Tutu.
Beating me up is great.
Yeah, I think so.
But the one thing that I noticed yesterday is it's kind of amazing how many looks guys give the other bench where they know somebody and they give them a look that says, "What's up, pal?" without saying, "What's up, pal?" Because like it's not kosher to look at the other team in the middle of a match, or
They give him like the nod.
yeah, like I saw a player give the assistant coach on the D side, so he had to wait for the second period so that the D coach would be on his side of the ice. The nod and the wink, like fake look.
We're
kinda.
still in a
We're
battle.
boys, right? You know, in warm ups, I think Pat Maroon might know more people in the NHL than anybody else.
He picked up another point yesterday.
300, Mr. 300.
He's great. He was on the program. So the opposite of the Wave. This tradition of youth hockey selling programs at the Wild Games is great. I rolled in with a 20. Keep the change, kid. You always ask him what association they're from. Can't remember, but he did tell me. And it was maroon on the cover.
Hey, kid, I'm going to
number
pretend
20.
to care about you, but I
do care about him. I like that. I like that those youth hockey players sell the programs. They keep the money. It's cool. That's that was one of the things we nailed at the start. We also had T-shirt guy. Any feedback on my feedback? Game like yesterday, I think most people in the building after that game are like, "What did you remember the most?" They're like, "The middle-aged man throwing T-shirts," which isn't great. Not great overall for the hockey product, but this guy has some rhythm. I'll give him. I mean, he moves around like it's like Chris Farley in his prime. I mean, some of the stuff he's doing. I think he slid down the railing at one point. So for anyone that doesn't know this, there's this promotional character that comes to Wild Games, and he pops out of the seat, and he seems to be like a regular fan, and then he just has like 50 T-shirts on and starts throwing them out one by one. He was dressed as Santa Claus yesterday, kind of incognito, and then revealed himself. What's your take on
How many
T-shirt
T-shirts are you wearing right now?
That's funny.
How
That's
many?
Funny. That's mean. That's
How many do you
mean.
have on?
I'm wearing one T-shirt under a
I
sweatshirt.
thought maybe you had an undershirt under that.
God. See, now you.
I thought
you know
that's
what?
where this was going.
It's
I
a
thought
good
you
thing.
were gonna do-
You know what? It's
I
a
thought you
good
were
thing.
gonna toss me a tee.
It's a good thing that Jordan Tutu just destroyed you that day. But what do you think of T-shirt guy? How many T-shirts are you wearing right
It
now?
looks like you got two on.
God. No.
I thought that's where you were going
one,
with that.
just
A lot of times you have these props and you set these things up.
Okay, thanks. Just wait.
Just wait for the
keep digging
interview.
out.
Let's wait for the Wags interview with the Christmas card.
Yeah, I did
Just-
have a prop.
He teed this up. He has a prop, and then he goes out and does. I thought that's where you were going with
Answer the question. Do you like the T-shirt guy? You were in between the benches. You saw him in action, yeah?
that. T-shirt guy.
Kids love him for sure. If you bring a 7-year-old to a Wild game and he's there, that's like burned into his memory forever.
Yeah, I mean,
He makes his money.
There's nothing kids would rather have than a sweaty
Middle-aged man
T-shirt.
derobing by them. Okay.
Sweaty T-shirt. But he had one straight across from me yesterday, and he was gassed.
He went.
It was like, do they do it for like a whole song?
Does he work harder than Faber?
No.
No. Okay, but so he was. They do it for. They seem to find lapses in the game where he's got a runway of about 90 seconds to work with.
We got to figure out what his gig is. Like, is he?
I don't know if he's national
is he
or
flown in, put up at the St. Paul Hotel. You know,
does he like have
like open
groupies?
tab?
Is he living like a David Lee Roth life? Like he's with like
I've seen
a
him.
bunch of women and like
I've
I
seen
think
him at like the Vegas arena. I've seen him do it at other arenas.
Yeah, I think he lives a wild life. I think this is a TV show waiting to come out. Because I mean, he's pretty excited when he does it.
Yeah. And he works. He was gassed.
There might be.
He had to sit down in his seat and like basically sprawl out just to catch his breath.
Okay, let's just move on. I don't know what to do with that.
T-shirt guy.
T-shirt guy. What's left in my notes? We're almost done. This is the last thing I got. Is we've done well against the West. Now we got to do this Eastern thing. So this Penguin team looks to be the mirror image of us. They're about 500. Fits and starts. You know, they're kind of loaded up for their last run. They added Carlson. You got Crosby, Malkin. So that game tomorrow, and then you got to go back to back against the red-hot Boston Bruins. And you think they're
I don't know.
They're
If they're
available.
red hot. I think they were red hot off the start. Now
only
they
lost
feel
5
gettable.
games, I think.
10.
10? Okay.
Well, no,
How many games have the Bruins lost?
they're 18-5-5, I think, maybe 19-5-5. So they've
Okay.
lost.
So you're
5.
counting those? Yeah, the OT losses. Got it.
Yeah.
But so why do you think they're gettable? So what's going to happen? I think if we get 2 points, we're good, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
On the trip?
Yeah, get 2.
Yeah, back to back. You're playing Pittsburgh, Boston. 3 would be great. Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're in their room, though, you're less concerned in the outcomes of these games. Just trying to make, like, power play hasn't scored in, I think it's 5 games. Rossi's almost had one last game, but power play needs to start scoring. Offense needs to be clicking. The Wild haven't had multiple guys going at a time. It seems like one person's leading the charge.
We're stretching that paint bucket.
Yeah.
5 different walls.
One dude, and then that dude goes cold, and somebody else has to heat up. You know, otherwise they're in trouble. It'd be nice to have like three dudes going at the same time. You know,
God, wouldn't it?
Boldy's feeling good. Like let's get Kirill scoring every other game. You know, he can get 40 goals. I mean, that's probably his baseline. But 3 even strength. Offense is, for me, what they need to figure out right now. It's first and foremost. You're just not going to continue to win games.
2-1.
If they go score 3 goals in the next 2 games, they'll get 0 points out of it. So they've got to find a way to score.
Related to that, do you think? So the last 30 seconds, Kirill's with Zuki of the game yesterday, overtime, and they were just buzzing. So now, do we just at some point, is it just like it's like a baby with their binky? Like just let those 2 guys play together, or are we trying to like?
I thought it was
retrain these guys to all play this sort of Hines on the track system, north and south, not east and west.
I found it extremely interesting that Hines was so quick to break the 2 of them up, almost to like set the tone early. I think Evison couldn't break them up because they played well for so long together that they turned into the unbreakable tandem, you know. But Hines right off the gate was like, well, I'm going to set precedent early. Like, if they're not playing well, I'm just not going to let them figure this out and have it take a month. I'm going to break them up. And I don't know that he's gotten the result that he's wanted.
Well, because Kirill's still playing east-west. There's still a lot of blind passes, break the box, kind of cross-ice stuff. And that doesn't seem to be how Hines wants them to play. But at some point,
He doesn't want to take their creativity away. Creativity equals east and west.
well, then
So you have-
put them back together. I mean,
I think he wants them to play north more, but without stripping them of their creativity.
Well, let's get them back together then. I just think Zuki's been the good soldier, doing whatever is necessary, chipping in. I don't know. Maybe that helps them get going. I'd get those guys back together.
Yeah,
You want to talk to Hines on the flight?
you got to keep trying different things, I suppose.
I
wanna talk-
bet he puts them back
I
together.
do want to talk Pitt though, because this is intriguing to me. And if
Does Fleury play tomorrow?
I don't know if he maybe. I think he might.
Kind of fun. Why not?
Oh, it's Pitt. I mean, he's playing one of these games. I don't know which one he's going to play.
Yeah, let him play.
Actually, I don't know. Back to back. I mean, the Gus bus is rolling. Maybe you play them both.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Go ahead with your Pitt thoughts. Sorry,
I would think on a back to back, both goaltenders will play. But you got Erik Karlsson. And the thought is just based on how personalities sometimes affect the way a player plays and situation and locker room. People talk about how good a room is or how bad a room is and how that can affect the product on the ice. Erik Karlsson, it's amazing if you track it, in my opinion. If he's the alpha in the room, he's unbelievable.
Oh, he's okay.
It's 100 points. It's Norris Trophy. But you put him in a room where there's Joe Thornton, Joe Pavelski in San Jose, a couple other big names, Brent Burns. You don't notice him.
Yeah. Well, he's on the second power play in Pitt, I think.
He's a shadow of himself. So that's kind of what I'm saying. So all of a sudden,
he's got to be on Ottawa or Columbus.
Those guys leave. The big names leave San Jose. He's back to a Norris Trophy winner. Somebody says
Ottawa.
Somebody says, all right, I'll take a shot at him. That's Pitt. He goes to Pittsburgh. Now he's playing second fiddle. It's Sidney Crosby, Malkin, Letang. It's their show, and he's a support piece. Nowhere near as dangerous. Nowhere near as good. Like, he's good when everything can be run through him, when it's his team, right?
We saw the poor version of that with Klingberg, right? I didn't even like him on the power play because it had to be about him.
And Klingberg was great in Dallas.
Walk in the line, the Klingberg show. Like, I don't think that's how the NHL works anymore.
Well, Quinn Hughes thinks otherwise.
Yeah, he's good.
He was good.
He's good.
But it's just intriguing how personalities and that affect play. And
yeah, it's Sid's room.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, and Malkin too. I mean,
and how a pro, and I don't know if it's just track record, but how a pro cannot still bring a certain level because he's not the big dog, the big man on campus. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's intriguing. It's interesting, and I'll be watching closely in the Pittsburgh game. But
I got just one small note. I don't know where you were during this game, but did you see when? So first of all, Middleton wanted a fight yesterday in a bad way. It seemed like a lot of guys. Foligno was looking for a fight. I think people were trying to do what you were trying to do with Tutu. Did you see that on the bench? Was that? I felt like there were more than one Wild player looking to start a fight yesterday.
Were you talking about the one where Middleton was asking?
Yeah.
Was it Pius Suter, maybe?
It was like multiple times you saw guys going, hey, Dakota Joshua, whoever it would have been. It seemed like.
Well, it was a guy that isn't going to fight. So that's one of those where it's like intimidation. You know he's not going to fight you. And if he does, you're actually really excited about the opportunity.
But so this, in the game against Calgary, Foligno with the rookie, and they have him on camera, and he just goes, I'm going to knock all your teeth out. That's what so you just see him point at him and go, like, front rack, all of it, if we go. And the kid was, like, mouthing off to him back. He was just like, yeah, oh, are ya? Is that what's going to happen? I mean, I wouldn't sleep well at night if Moose was sort of like, see those white squares? They're about to be stuck in my...
Yeah. And
I think that's what he said.
That is scary, but there's counter punches to that.
What do you say?
Well, that's what you're reduced to now. You've got to come out here and pick on a rookie.
Yeah, he might have been saying that.
You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. He was a young kid. I don't know. I wondered if he saw it. It was on that moment was great. And then they showed it was Calgary. It was the Calgary game because they showed Favor on the bench during the shootout, and he was just fur in his face. And he was talking to himself, and he goes, please score, Zuki. You can see him say it. I'm like, oh my God, this kid, he's about to die.
He was about to die. I don't know that I've ever seen somebody as tired as I saw Brock Faber on that 3-on-3 OT where he had like the 2-minute shift. His legs were straight and he couldn't bend them.
Yeah.
He couldn't bend them.
If you look, I don't know if you can find that clip, Huss, right at the start of the shootout. he's still catching his breath. He knows he's not going to have to go in the shootout. And to himself, he looks down and just goes, please score, Zuki. Please score. Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love those little moments, those little, like even when they went off the ice, Foligno's hugging everyone and Hartsey just gives him one in the junk. It's all on TV. It's just great. It's awesome. That's all I got. That was just a bunch of random nuggets.
That's great.
I'm not sure where I was going. It was on my notes.
Yeah.
I just forced them all in.
Speaking of random, no, this isn't so random, but we've got a new sponsor on the pod this week. So hey, Huss, let's take a minute. We'll throw to the interview with Mrs. Spurgeon and Mrs. Goligoski. But before we do, let's hear a word from the sponsors. Concerned about the quality of your water? Unveiling an exclusive offer from Aquarius Home Services, your ultimate solution to water concerns. Elevate your home with a remarkable 25% discount on the state-of-the-art whole home Kinetico water system. Whether it's city or well, Kinetico effortlessly banishes your water worries, transforming cleaning into a breeze and extending the lifespan of your appliances. Experience spotless dishes, softer clothes, and pure water at your fingertips. Don't miss out on this life-enhancing opportunity to enjoy the benefits of pristine water, all with an irresistible 25% off. Dive into a world of cleaner, purer living with Aquarius Home Services today. Aquarius believes in earning the right to be recommended. They're just a click away at aquariushomeservices.com.
Are you looking for a last-minute gift? Give a gift card. Cub has the best selection. Whether it's music, fashion, games, or food, they probably even have a honey one for Carter. Cub has gift cards for everyone on your list. They're never out of stock. They're always a great fit, and you don't even need to wrap them. And they're the best way, a gift card at Cub, to finish your last-minute shopping this holiday season.
New partner alert, T-Rex Cookies. While they're making a statement, that statement is cravings are not a weakness. I have a sweet tooth. I love cookies, and these are the ones for me. There are 4 half-pound frozen cookie pucks in each bags. You throw those bad boys in the oven, they expand to about 7 inches in size. That's probably enough to satisfy my sweet tooth. Can't wait. They come in 3 flavors, Monster, Chocolate Chip, and Caramel Chocolate Chip. You can find them in the frozen dessert section at Cub Food Stores and other select retailers in the Twin Cities. They're a high-quality cookie experience that outsizes the competition. Only use natural ingredients that give you a consistent baking experience at home every time. T-Rex Cookies. They're making a statement.
All right, well, we got a treat. It's the holidays, folks, and we're going to find out if the term wags is derogatory, but we do have Amanda Goligoski and Danielle Spurgeon here, Mother Goose and Mama Spurgeonator, joining us. This is sponsored by Duke Cannon. If your hair is a weapon or you wish it was, actually one of the little Spurgeon kids has got pretty good hockey hair. He might be trying some Duke Cannon out. Hardworking product for hardworking guys. So thanks for coming over. Strong showing on the holiday sweaters. We have producers that were meant to get us stuff like that, but they didn't. And it's just really a strong start for both of you.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
I actually have a question, and it's related to that. Zach's growing up, Duke Cannon, the sponsor. I'm starting to get some stinky pits at home with my daughters, and I don't know how to be like, hey, here.
Smell.
This is
this.
so. How does that? I don't have any boys, but how does that work? Like, at what point are you like, hey, here's some deodorant. Why don't you go ahead?
I wasn't that kind. I mostly was like, you smell awful.
That's a good way to do it.
It's easier when your kid's
Yeah.
a hockey player too, because you'd be like, you kind of smell like your gear a little bit. Can you put this on?
Yeah, no, he's pretty good. I think he he likes the smell of like the deodorant or like
Yeah.
cologne,
Well, I tell you what, we'll send you guys home with a bunch of products
Yeah,
for
we'd
the
like
young
that.
fellas in the house.
Yeah.
I think
so-
with the daughters, maybe a Post-it note around the house, couple places just says, "Do I smell?"
Well,
So
like
it's
that's
more
kinda like-
interactive.
isn't that Aaron's?
Very
Like is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if she's not around? You can't always be like, hey, Ma, can you go tell them that?
Another way would be to talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
that
And then
could
they
be-
can listen to
That
it?
could be a way that
This
maybe
is
they
the
would
one.
think about.
We're on fire. So is WAGS a derogatory term? It's an acronym, right?
Acronym, yeah.
Wives and girlfriends.
I think it's a cool term.
you
but
guys have-
like it?
I wouldn't say I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think the
I'm indifferent.
show, when the show started, that's how it got started, right?
right.
Maybe.
The show Wags.
Yeah.
And I feel like when the show came on, I was like, oh, I don't think I like
Makes
that.
sense.
Yeah.
But there was definitely Wags before the show, and then the show kind of ruined it, maybe.
I've never seen the show.
I haven't watched it either, but I'm assuming they made it like Real Housewives of Sports or
Yeah,
something.
they set up issues on purpose and made them
Drama.
made drama where there didn't need to be, and I feel like it gave the acronym a worse.
Which sports were it? Like it was.
Wasn't it soccer?
Soccer?
Like
Oh.
international.
I think that might be where Wags even came from.
Maybe,
No,
yeah.
right? Wasn't it soccer?
Actually.
I think it was. I think it's international. And
Now I'm wondering if there's animosity amongst WAGs groups in
Different
different
WAG
sports. You know, like I feel like hockey players are like, I don't know, like we think we're probably cooler than basketball players. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
do different WAG groups dislike other WAGs groups?
Not that
don't think
know
so.
of. No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I
They're
think
too
if
nice.
anything, you
You guys are too
respect
nice.
it.
Yeah.
'Cause
I want to.
do a lot.
What's game day? So, I'm gonna keep using WAG. I'm sorry, just for a minute until I can find something else that works. But so, what is game day like for you guys? Do you first of all do you go to every game or like only special games? And like, do you do a pregame nap? Do you like have what entry? Like, where do you go in and where do you, like not getting too weird, but like, what's it like game day?
Before kids, very different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before kids, yes, game day,
Yes,
pre-game
pre-game
day.
Okay,
nap.
pumped.
Sure, yes, did all of that. And
Yeah.
then you have kids and you have
No
three
more.
babies napping because
Yeah.
one is your husband and your other two babies, and everyone has to be quiet.
The worst is when you're done nap phase and your husband still naps.
naps.
But the rest of the house is still going and everyone has to
Yeah.
be quiet because dad's napping.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
who's
fun.
And we
who's
had
the
a-
most high maintenance napper?
Yeah, we
Dad.
had a play, setting up a play
insane.
date, and I'm like, oh, I can't have the kids over
My
because
husband's napping. And they're like, what?
"Oh."
Or like I have like contractors. I'm like, you can't come to the house between 1 and
I like this.
3.
What?
And they're like, why? And I'm like, well, Jared's going to be napping.
Yeah.
Hey,
And they're
so
like,
We're just gonna throw their husbands under.
I
the
got to
bus.
ask you a
This is-
question about this, and
they're
you,
gonna hate
you
us.
can't comment because you played. So the whole pregame nap thing—that's just a bunch of BS, right? Like that's a tradition that like makes no sense. That's been passed on for like 100 years. That like
it is kind of odd. I mean,
It's like
Jared never, ever
is odd.
naps
True.
except he forces himself to nap for the
But
game.
I mean, have we ever had like a sports medicine person look? I mean, I think it's just something they were like, hey, if we can do this and we can get
We
away
should
with
do
this
it.
for the rest of our lives, we should totally do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I love it. I wish
it's
I
akin-
could
I
do
would say
it, but it's
love it.
nonsense.
I think it's akin to like charging your cell phone battery. Let's say you didn't plug your cell phone in until 3 in the morning, like when these guys get home, right? And then you're up again at 8 in the morning. You didn't get a full charge on your cell phone.
Those nights, I agree. But some nights when when you're just at home and you are getting those good sleeps,
Yeah.
I'm like, do you need a
But then
nap?
it's routine. It's routine.
Yeah.
It is a routine.
Creatures of habit.
Yeah.
That is
Creatures of
true.
I'm so used to it, it doesn't bother me anymore. Like,
you ever
So it did bother you at one point?
when I had
don't need a
babies
nap, these
and
kids are
everyone,
screaming.
I was so exhausted, and I was like, oh, good, go take your nap.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, I don't know.
That's why I think WAGs is like a derogatory term because the guys actually have it easy and it's the ladies at home that have to do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
Even at like trade deadline or guys get moved, the guy just hops on a flight, he packs one suitcase, he
Yeah,
goes, he's
you
got
have the
20
rest.
new buddies. And then,
Yes.
and then the significant others are left there to pack everything up to somehow get it across the country, get everything done.
Yeah.
You've got kids in the car.
Prep the new location.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Find the schools,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, the grocery stores, figure out the
doctors.
roads, absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You guys don't get enough credit for all that, but
It's a lot of behind the scenes.
It also sounds like nag, kind of too, like nagging. Yeah, I think
nags?
we're gonna get rid of WAG.
We're the negs.
We're gonna get rid of WAG. Hey, I just on the napping thing. One last question: do you ever go in there and like he's not actually napping? He's
Yes,
like looking on
I've
his
done
phone?
that. Yes.
See,
I've
that's
watched
awesome.
I've creeped
football game
in
or something.
to, like,
And he's
Yeah.
just like watching like
Oh, do you have
suits
the
on his
TV
phone.
on?
Sometimes we'll have the TV on. I'm like,
We don't have.
"Man, I'm
Jared
not
doesn't have the
quiet."
TV, but I'll crawl in and
so
I'm like,
good.
and I'll
Like, hey.
peek, and he's on his phone. I was like, I've just been so quiet for the last hour, and you're up here just scrolling.
that reminds me of
That's
the
great.
scene from I think This Is 40 when he's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he's just
Hiding out. Yep.
stand up, stand up.
Any alone time. It's true.
Yeah. So do you guys actively watch games?
On TV?
I always wondered
In
that.
person?
Whatever. Like,
Oh.
I mean, there's 82 games in the season. Are you making sure you get to everyone when you're there? Are you like in your seat for puck drop and then period ends? You do John's hot lap. Like, what's it like for you guys at the
Hot lap's
games?
great.
I'd say again before kids, yes. I made all 41 home games. Like, Adam. And it was like an event and something to do, like social. It's where your friends are, like your girlfriend's on the team.
Something to do. You've been at home all day doing probably nothing.
Probably nothing. And then you go to the game and it's social and it's fun. You go out to dinner after. And then I feel like with kids now,
It's no.
all the
you can't.
weekend
It's
games,
way
you
too
bring
late.
them.
Yeah.
So being a wag is a drag now.
Yeah.
You know what? No, because honestly, we're also in a different phase of life. We're like, I'm tired. And, you know, I don't want to go
like,
till 11
stay
on
up.
a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I want to watch in my jammies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm still staying up until 11, but I'm
Yeah.
not dressed. I'm not
have
out
it
of the
on-
house.
Right.
I'm
You have it
not-
on TV?
Have it on TV. But
Yes,
like,
I only
not
perk
actively
up when I
watch it.
kind of
Kind of
hear the name.
background noise, right?
Background noise. Let them know I
That's
saw
what I
it.
thought it was. Now, what would be a reason to go to the rink? Is it like, ooh, you know, he's playing Pittsburgh, his old team, or like, what would be like a
Yeah, or
reason
like if
might-
you know someone on the opposing team that you want to say hi
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I might go for that.
But that's just the guy. So other wags from
don't
other
use that.
teams typically don't travel here, and they're not going to be in the stadium. So you'd maybe have 30 seconds post game to say hi
Yeah.
to one of your friend's husbands,
Yeah.
right?
But
So
it is
it's-
still fun to see.
I was gonna say, yeah, you only see, you might never see
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
otherwise.
Again.
Yeah, again, ever.
That's what's crazy.
What
about
about early
crazy.
start? Like, what about this 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
Vancouver
Those are
game?
good.
We
I
like
that.
You gonna go this
For
Saturday?
the kids.
I'm
Tomorrow?
actually not going tomorrow.
You going?
I am going. I'm bringing the kids.
You want to hang
My,
out?
do you want to bring my kids?
okay.
They're
Hot lap?
We'll bring your
pissed we're not
kids.
going.
I will
Yeah,
bring them.
we'll explain hot lap to her.
You just put her in such a bad spot. She couldn't say no.
I know.
It's on the podcast.
not
but
live.
You threw it up there like that, knowing that she couldn't say no.
I'll do it.
You did the same thing. Actually,
I
no,
tried to get Jake Middleton to take me to Billy's Sushi.
Yeah,
It
that
was-
I
it
heard
was-
that one.
it
I
was-
watched that podcast.
It was
was
awkward.
Yeah. I didn't think it was as awkward as you made it sound.
Yeah, but I still want to go with
Yeah.
him. I think
He would take you no problem.
we might go.
Yeah.
Sauna with Kirill, Jake, you know, all that. Can we do a little holiday stuff, or what do you want to do? Somebody prepped him with questions yesterday, so he has a team because he's like a real wild employee. He had like people write questions for him for you
For us.
and all day yesterday I'm calling him. I go, hey, we got these two women coming over tomorrow. We should talk about how we're going to do this. Never talk to him. He gets questions, and I'm just on my own on your Instagrams.
You got notes?
I've been on your Instagram
scrolling.
all morning, scrolling.
Yeah, I haven't been on their Instagram, so I don't know.
Okay, so we got a good balance. What do you have on a professional question to ask him?
Wow, I was gonna ask. So you guys
He
are
won't turn
you
his
guys
paper
are
over.
you guys are veteran wags now.
Oh yeah.
It's a much different vibe than when you first come into the NHL. So you walk into the wives' room, and I feel like it's probably like an intimidating space because you have veteran wags in there. You know what I mean? And I remember,
Like the room.
Yeah.
like you don't know if you come
family
from
room.
humble beginnings and then you go in there and you have like queens in the wives' room.
Queens.
But
Yeah,
I
you're
would
like,
say
oh my
this
goodness.
team, out of all the teams we've been on, is the least of that.
Yeah, I say I
Like,
don't think we're not.
No.
We
No
don't have
hierarchy?
a no.
No hierarchy?
No, that's a
People,
big
like,
thing
we're
to
like
not.
a-
We don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say of all
But it
the
has
teams, this
existed
team is
before.
100%.
For sure
I've walked
exists.
into a room like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Alex got traded one time, and I left crying. Like, it
Yeah, you're
was-
just like, oh my
you're
gosh.
like, oh my goodness, it's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
But no, I would say this room doesn't feel intimidating. And there's 28 children of the girls in there just running around wreaking havoc. So there's no one can like concentrate. It's just corralling children.
And like I don't know. I think we have a good group. No one
Yeah.
really thinks anyone's better than the other. No one, like it doesn't matter how long you're around for. We're all in the same boat.
How does the dynamic work between wag and then girlfriend wag? So like, because my kids are dating people, and we put the boyfriend on the Christmas card this year with the daughter.
Big step.
wow,
That's
that
a
is
big step.
Yeah.
Not with the son yet because we're still figuring out what's happening there.
Oh no.
She doesn't get to
You don't
go.
want to scare her.
This will be great for me too, between your daughter's armpits and that. But how do you bring in is there like different tiers? Like as a wife wag, you're like a season ticket holder, and they're on like an 11 game pack.
No,
No.
no, they're the same.
That's true.
We're all the same.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But they're saying that that's not that way.
We don't
No,
want it
and
to be.
honestly, Danielle sends out the second someone new comes, she sends their name, their number, everyone says hello, and like this group text, like Danielle's so good at making sure it's like
Ooh,
updated.
it sounds like there is a hierarchy.
No,
Are you the
because she just
captain?
gets the
I
in
get
the
all that
city.
responsibility.
she gets all that
Isn't that
responsibility.
fun?
But she like manages it so well, so we all know who's coming in, and you know who to look for, and people go right up and start chatting.
Yeah.
What if somebody's like serial dating? How does that work? So say you got like a real playboy
Yeah.
on the team, and they're like, do you still do the group
No,
text?
they're
Like,
not allowed to. They have to like they.
Guys,
If they
kinda-
give the name to you, it's like this
then
is
it's
somebody
official.
I care
Yeah,
about.
they.
Okay.
There's kind of like an unspoken rule that they got to be around
Yeah,
You know,
if
like
this
you have
is-
if you want, because the thing is once they come in to our group, then they come into our chat, and they'll get our schedule through us, like through me and through the other girls. So if the guy doesn't want her showing up to all these events,
You can't take them out.
well, then he can't put her in because then
She'll know it all.
know it's happening.
Oh, then he'll get in trouble.
And we always know everything before the guys do
Yeah.
anyway. So
So
this
you
is
know,
like the
like
mafia.
he's got to be
I love
ready
this.
to invite her to every team event.
Yeah.
Because she's gonna know it exists and that she wasn't invited.
So you won't be able to extract.
Right. So he's got to be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to get the okay from
Player.
him.
This is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
This is such an interesting world.
Yeah.
We should have done the WAG show the right way, how the WAGs actually are, instead of these British footballers that tried to ruin it.
Yeah.
Let's get
They
into the
tried,
holiday
they tried a
stuff.
hockey wag show.
Yeah,
What was it? Hockey
was-
Wild?
only
there-
aired in
there was like a-
Canada. It only aired in Canada.
I feel like there was a former Wild
There
draft pick or
was.
something.
Well, we had, who did we have on it? I can't, the name, I can't think of it now. His wife was in the military though.
yeah. No, I know.
I think, I want to say
One of our
this was
crack
kind of the
producers
same
will get it.
time.
Brent or Palmer.
You
or
were around
something. No, but
too.
Yeah, it was before
Right?
me. It was before
Oh,
me.
before. Okay.
So holiday, I got a real I love holiday cards. Like I get into it. I totally
Like the family
judge
card?
people.
Like
yeah,
okay.
totally judge people when they come in. When did they arrive? You know, what are the photos like? You know, did they have a sticker on a seal on the back? All
Wow.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, do you guys kind of have a picture as a WAG, especially a senior WAG? Like you must send like 350 cards.
I don't send cards out. I got yours though.
I do. I
You
like
don't send
sending
cards
them.
out?
I do. I sent 1 year, so it's not a thing really
This
in
is-
Canada.
Oh,
We
that's
do-
an
we,
excuse.
or at least like in Edmonton, we don't really do it. I've never really got them. I moved here, and I got a whole bunch in the mail that like the 1 year, and then the next year I was like, this is kind of fun. I'm gonna do one. It was awful.
It's a lot of
It was
work.
off. It was so much work. I didn't want to collect all the addresses.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
The
And then you
addresses of
have
all
to
your
put
friends
them
that
on
moved.
the
Yeah.
envelope. You have to mail the envelope, then
no.
the seal.
It's
It was
so
so
great.
expensive.
It's expensive.
And then
But I
I
love it.
realized that once
You
they
love it?
come, I look at them and I throw them out. So I'm like, what's the
No,
point?
no,
Hang them
no.
all up on my
no.
door. I have
I did
everyone
that
we've
too,
gotten.
but then
No, this
I love
is
it.
not-
I
this is-
just
I
get
love
rid
it.
of them now. I
Okay,
haven't sent one out
Can,
since.
can we talk about
been
this?
a while.
little
Yeah, we
bit?
have to get
So
to the
Mother Goose and I are going to talk to you about this a little bit. So first of all, you have professional photography on your Instagram.
I
like
do.
every
I have
every
pictures I
3
could
weeks.
put on it.
Like your life has basically been photographed professionally. There, you have so many good photos.
So
this
those
is super easy.
Okay, but
for
those
you.
new ones.
You have
those-
great
I
pictures,
haven't had
though.
professional photos in like 3 years. The ones all over my house. My youngest is 1. She's gonna be 5 soon.
Oh, so you're putting like old photos on your Instagram from like 4 years ago?
Well, no, you know the kids. No, the right. Like,
she just got new
they're
ones
of
taken.
age.
Well, then they're not even
Right?
professional. They just look professional.
Thank you.
See, you got to do a card.
It's an iPhone 15.
Let me try to sell you on the concept, okay? And I got mine. One of these just came back, so you can see kind of.
I do want to see,
Yeah, well-
especially since you're so judgmental. This
I
is
am very
Okay, and I
judgmental.
need, we need to see the
Okay.
new boyfriend that made the card.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, that'll be super great. Okay. So you got to get the addresses once, and it is a pain in the ass.
Not one.
not once.
Not once.
Everyone moves
Especially in
I know,
hockey,
but-
every year you have to text
Like in this life, everybody moves
all the time.
every year.
I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of stories
Okay,
that go on
just let me
Instagram
have a
saying,
chance.
"What's your new address?" You know, like because everyone
lot.
changes every year. And even if you don't get traded, you probably are moving houses.
Okay.
Hey, I haven't talked to you in a year. I just wanted to reach out. You still have the same address, or can I get that new one? Send you the Christmas card. P.S. Best friends.
You're the
BFFs forever.
Spurgeons. You have people. Someone can help you with this. Okay.
I don't
so
want to though. I
so-
don't think. I
so,
mean,
but
I
here's
don't
why it's
know.
fun. Okay, so once a year you get to kind of, hey, think of like that show, The Crown. This is like once a year. This is kind of like how we're doing, whether we were at the state fair or we took a trip or whatever. You got to go through this ritual. It's kind of like a pregame nap. You got to go through this ritual of getting the cards, going on Shutterfly, getting the coupon for 50% off.
coupon.
The coupon's
Otherwise,
kind of
you gotta
there
get
all
it.
the
Right,
time.
it is.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
not
you
actually a
send them
deal.
out. And then what I like to do is keep score of like, okay, we sent 200, we got 170 back. Like,
You
what
get
does that
you
mean?
get that many back?
You're negative 30 in the
Yeah,
friend category.
I'm kind of doing a plus minus, right? Keeping track of that. And then I just, themes. So I'm an empty nester, so judge that accordingly. and see
You
what
don't
you
do a
think.
whole letter though, do you?
Oh, I used to so bad.
Really?
Never
Like
write
Jared's
a
mom
letter.
writes a whole letter out.
Wow.
No letter. No.
No, please no letter. The
We
letters
were-
are a lot.
So when you're an empty nester, you have to go just you on the front, and then you put kids on the back because they don't live with you anymore.
I like
and
this.
cheery.
Are you in a bar?
Yeah, we're in a bar. Rudy's Red Eye.
Nice and
What a
cheery.
surprise!
This
Now
is
see
nice.
the back
This
we
is
got.
nice.
See now,
Everybody represented, even the dogs.
that's right. The dogs,
Oh, there we go.
the house.
Okay, okay. So this is the new girlfriend up in the top right here? Or was
My
it the
daughter.
boyfriend?
That's
that
my
gets
daughter.
to
That's the
come on?
boyfriend. Really be nice on this. That's
Okay.
the boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is
Oh,
the
and
same
even
person.
the house, the dog. You got
Yeah.
it all.
John's actually the king of turning an audio product into a visual
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
I'll take it away. I'll take it away.
It's nice.
I do.
Yeah, right?
I like
Good
the
card
color.
stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I wanted to go with it.
Yeah, you
See,
should.
like-
At what point should you
Bad
not?
seal. Bad seal.
Well, and like I
Cheap
put the
office
liner
t-shirt.
Put it on the wax.
inside.
Put it on the wax.
I know.
You messed
Liner's
up.
great. Or a
No.
sticker with a picture.
I mean, this
Photo-
goes in the
photo
garbage.
seal?
Yeah.
That goes in the garbage.
No, but what you're saying, you have a basket then. So you have a basket in your house, and everyone that comes over during the holidays,
They're
they
gonna
sit
look
down
through-
and they look through.
I know, but
actually
you know what?
do.
I don't have that many people that come over through the holidays.
Baloney. I feel like
I
your
think
house
you're-
is always full. You're hosting everything.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow she's hosting.
That's why I'm not going to
all
the
of us.
game.
Yeah. She's hosting our ugly Christmas sweater party.
Yeah.
And
You
you
should
did
see
Thanksgiving.
my
We have different
basement.
ones. We have different ones.
I wasn't gonna say.
No, we got different ones.
She
Don't
saw
worry.
my look. I was like, those aren't
These
that ugly.
these ones?
No, these are
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, but we have. I mean, the
So you guys
ones
are gonna-
for
It's
tomorrow.
not necessarily ugly. It's just
No.
Christmas sweater.
Usually
you know?
vintage grandma sweaters.
Yeah. It
Should
doesn't
we-
have to be ugly.
Should we get into
Are
hosting?
kids involved?
No kids.
They
No.
go home.
Yeah.
They go to the game and then they go home.
they
Yeah,
gotta
so
go to
that's
bed.
why I'm
Gotta
trying
go
to
to bed.
pawn my kids off because I can't go to the game.
I'll take them.
And they're like, "What do you mean we're not going?" I'm like, "Well, I can't be there. My sitter's out of town." And so I'm like, I don't know.
She has tinsel to hang.
Dude, that's another super
I hung
funny
all
one.
the tinsel already.
The babysitter in the wives' room.
Yeah.
Like if you get a good one, you do not share that number in like the local market. No.
I actually
This is-
gave
your
Amanda and
babysitter?
Alex
No idea. I
used
don't know.
ours
Before we
you
ever
would
knew-
know,
You
well,
allow-
you
Well,
know
no,
my sitter.
This
It's
is
still
before
the
we
same
ever knew
one.
we were playing for the Wild. We summer here because we're
Mm-hmm.
from here. So we'd come home and we knew they left. So I'd take Tracy for a little bit. And then when we got traded here, Jared texted Alex. He's like, "Do
You
not
can't
take
have
Tracy."
her.
Yeah, they just hoard babysitters.
Yep.
You have to because
Oh,
you
they're
need a
protected.
sitter for all the same things.
Yeah.
So you can't generally share.
And you don't want to lose your sitter in the summer if you have to leave.
Yeah.
So you share them, but then you get them back.
Yeah.
I like this. So when you entertain, because you did Thanksgiving as well, I saw that. Talk to me about like some of the personalities. So like, who are the players the kids are the most excited to see because they're basically children themselves? Who are the ones that maybe help you wash dishes and are kind of like, wow, like that they made it so much easier? And then who are the maybe particular ones you got to get a special beer for this guy, or like give me some nuance of this scene.
I'd say like the other wives, all the girls are incredibly helpful. My house was like turned upside down to make this work. So we got like double the amount of people this year. So I had 3 massive tables set up. And I moved my whole house around. And by the time everyone left, my house was back in order, tables included. It was insane.
Do you cater, or are you doing it all?
No, so I don't really like to cater too much of Thanksgiving. So we did. We ended up getting the hams made for us by Gavin. Mara made those, or the turkeys. I made the hams, and then everyone brought like one dish, basically. So it ended
Like a
up being
potluck.
pretty, yeah, and it was like home cooked. You know, like everyone made them at home.
Who made like what player made some food where you were like, man, that person's a good cook? Or
Well,
that-
so no
Alex.
guys, no guys.
Because they
Alex
were
is
on,
a cook though, isn't he?
he likes to cook, yeah. But they were on the road until
They
right
were,
before.
Oh,
yeah.
so it wasn't the
Yeah.
players.
No,
weren't
it's the
involved.
girls. Yeah.
So any picky eaters? Like as a host, are you like looking around the table seeing who eats what, or
No, not really. No, I mean,
Everyone eats everything.
they do. Yeah, I'd say like I think this was the same as like there's a couple guys that are I think a bit pickier, but
hosting's hard. It's like getting married. You can't rember
She's like
anything.
the hostess with the most.
I,
She does
yeah,
it all.
like, I don't know what happened.
You're a
It
good
was pretty
host.
quick though. I feel like it was like they played the next day, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and so it's never like crazy.
Let's talk about the wine strategy. Can we talk about the wine strategy?
Yeah.
You get the good bottles out, and
Yeah.
then you
Downshift.
So well, the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I yeah.
As like, people keep drinking, you pull out the worst bottles.
No, I
Boone's
I
Farm.
think I corked like I don't know. I probably opened 9 bottles and kind of just put them around.
There's a lot
And
left over, though.
there was so much left over. I drank them for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually do that while I do dishes. I just finish everyone's wine. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you don't want to waste it.
No, you should not waste it.
Having a good time.
The what's this? So the holiday sweater party. What's the vibe of that one? Because I know
Ooh, I'm
Halloween's
excited.
Sort of famous with hockey.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we got to get into your costumes. Were great. So, but what's this? What's this kind of random holiday joy party? What's this?
Well, we always do a Christmas party. And yeah, I don't know. It's just this year, last year, Dumba's hosted it and it was great. And it's hard, like, so Halloween, we try to always have we try to host at least one. One year we did Halloween. This year, I don't know why we didn't do, I couldn't.
were home. It was in the middle
Yes,
of
I
the
didn't
week.
know how to what to do with my kids. Because they had school the next morning, and usually I would just see if they can go somewhere else for the night or something, and then, but with school, so we didn't host that. So then we decided we'll host the Christmas party, and again, my kids are home, but they'll be upstairs, and they don't have school. Yeah, they'll be fine. But so I'm trying to get everyone just to the basement. We just renovated it, and it's covered in tinsel.
Oh,
It's
really?
completely covered. Yeah, Jared came down yesterday and was just giddy. He's like, it feels like my grandma's basement. I'm like, that's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And we're in
That's
our grandma's
great.
sweaters.
And we're exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
That's gonna be fun. So that's just kind of a nice,
It's just to
low
get together.
maintenance. Just come and just unwind with the team.
Yeah, any
Yep.
excuse to kind of get together and do that.
Yeah, just to hang out, have fun.
Well,
So I
if you,
said the schedule allows it too. I
It
mean,
was this month.
1
is
o'clock game.
tricky.
Yeah.
month is hard,
Everybody's
yeah.
been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, this left
then I have a
literally
lot.
2 days.
Yep.
Possible days.
Yeah.
And what's that? What's that like for you guys? Like the guys are gone. Like the month of December, November felt like they've been gone forever.
November was rough.
Then they come home 2 games, then gone again forever. Like, does that get tough?
Yeah, that's not fun.
With all the activities, I think, like all the holiday activities with kids, I think it's more sad for them too. Like they're missing a lot along
Yeah.
the way, and you're like sending pictures, like, "Hey, our kids look great,"
But shaming them at the same time.
kind of. But I mean, yeah, no, their schedule has been really
Yeah.
tough the last 2 months.
Yeah, no, but I think this month is good though, right?
that's great.
Yeah,
They're home a lot of this month.
Yeah.
And into January.
and then we get to look forward to All Star break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
Also,
have
break.
plans? You guys have plans?
We're trying to make them.
We're working
I
on
don't
it.
think we're doing Cabo again.
It was kind of chilly last
Yeah,
year.
it was cold.
So you're saying that neither of your husbands will be all stars? Wow. Pretty early to make that decision.
Honestly, even if they won, I'd probably still go on vacation.
I
with them.
mean, honestly, like
screwing
as
You got the
cool
kids,
as it
but
was.
I'm out.
Hey, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna
I'm
head up
just
the
screwing
beach.
with you.
I know. I think, it's in Toronto this year, right?
I actually don't
know.
know.
I think it is. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
At least go somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Then it's fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the vacation. I feel bad for the guys that have to go.
Yeah, it is a bummer.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Good for them, but also kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's great.
Everyone wants
It'd be
the
great to
break.
play in the All Star game,
Right?
but that time those are the dog days of the season where it's like
It's
dark from when
perfectly
you get up.
timed.
Yeah.
That's exactly when you
Cold.
need
Yeah.
a break. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
been a long year. Like you're about halfway through. Just unwind a little bit.
So you guys are at games, and I'm sure it's happened to both of you, maybe even this year. But your husband gets hurt. Like, what's that like? You're watching him out there. Like, is it nerve wracking? You ever have the instinct to want to run down the locker room and go in there?
Bang on the glass.
Yeah, something.
Let me
Going
in.
on? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like they keep you updated if it happens when you're at the game, especially. Like someone will keep you updated, like, "Hey, he's okay. We're doing this test or something."
Yeah.
I feel
Just
like
to,
all
let
the
you know
injuries
he's
have happened
fine.
on the road, though.
Yeah. Well, Jared was
this.
hurt when I wasn't there. You guys were all there though.
Oh yeah,
Whenever
I
that
was texting you
was.
live.
Yeah, I was at
texting. She was driving and I was texting her live.
Yeah.
I'm like, he just went off. Oh no, we're reading an article, and then he was back, and I was like, he's
It
back.
was
and I
weird.
sent a
Yeah.
picture.
I was in Duluth and I was
Yeah.
listening to it on the radio
Yeah.
on the way to one of Zach's games.
That was
and
weird.
you just they described him. They're like, he's on the ice. And I was like, and the kids are like, what's happening? I was like, I don't know. Like, I can't see anything.
Yeah. And it's like the fear of the unknown.
Well,
Yeah,
that was
you
a
don't
little
know.
panicky. But I mean, at the end of the day, as long as they are moving to a certain extent and are conscious, then
And you're like,
you're like, everything else can be
Yeah.
healed, right? Like, you just don't want to be.
Yeah. He's got a pulse? Yeah, he's all right.
Okay, we're good.
He's a hockey player.
got it.
But I mean, honestly, it's like the head's the scariest part,
I was-
or the neck or back.
true. Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
long,
I was
Everything else is kind of like, okay, we're.
I was in Anaheim, and one of the wives came storming down right into the locker room, like intermission, right through the locker room, like to the training table.
After he got hurt?
Yeah.
Was it a bad injury?
No, he was okay. it was.
That's pretty solid.
It was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even think Jared would like that. He'd be
don't
like,
think
why
Alex
are you
I don't
in
think-
here?
Yeah.
Nobody knew what to
Please leave.
do. Nobody knew what to do.
Yeah.
It's awkward. Yeah.
Nobody.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
So you guys haven't done that?
No, we would usually get a message. Like
Yeah, you get a message from
they would
somebody.
text you. Yeah.
Just like, we're okay, or
Yeah.
we need to go to the hospital.
Yeah, meet at the ambulance.
yeah.
Me at the ambulance.
You get
That's
that
always
text,
a
it's
fun
not good,
text.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, well, that was a pretty serious question, Karts. Did you get that from your
That
team?
was.
No.
Why don't I follow up with talk about your Halloween outfits because they were really strong. Do you feel like you were both on the podium as top notch?
No, I mean, Amanda, you guys always, they
So
always
we got
have
Dumb and
really
Dumber
good ones.
over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I mean,
wasn't allowed to
That
post
maybe
mine.
was the best.
I
of
think so,
all.
too.
I mean, it was.
we did
so
bring
they're
home
both
the skeleton
It was-
tequila.
as an
rings.
audio
did.
product.
I
They're
didn't
both
see the
on the
gift
little
go out.
motorcycle and everything. And what were you?
Well,
Well,
Was it controversial?
I was original Britney Spears.
Okay.
First,
hit me, baby,
the
one more
best.
time.
Jared was current.
Oh, really?
The knives
Oh.
dancing.
Yeah, yeah.
And his
Okay.
bra top and
Yes.
booty shorts.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you were Era's tour of Britney.
Yeah, so he didn't allow me to post that.
Yeah, he didn't
No,
want to see
he
that.
didn't want. No, the kids were confused as hell.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, I bought him like a full chest plate with
Yeah.
breasts on them.
They were
They
very
were
realistic.
so real.
Like if you
It was
glance,
amazing.
You're like, oh.
The amount of people that didn't know it was Jared off the bat in the
So
in
is
the
the
room.
chest place? Is it a hard plastic?
No, it's
or is it like-
silicone.
No, it's so it
No
truly
way.
It was
It looks
amazing.
real. It
Like they
looks real.
felt it was
Yeah.
That's
creepy.
great. Where do you buy something like that?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Who knew? So
Wow.
he had a good time.
And his makeup was real good.
Yeah, he looked good.
He did look good.
He looked really nice.
I could see him be. He would be an attractive.
He
woman.
is. Yeah, he is pretty. A lot of
clean,
people
he's
thought he
clean
was a
and-
girl. I mean, yeah. Until you knew it was him.
Go ahead, dig your way out of this
Another
one.
girl.
Kenny.
All right. What do I got?
You got
Okay. Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. U of M, national champion. Thank you guys. Do you have bias towards other Gopher players like Brock Faber? Are you like, I love Brock Faber. He's like a baby Gopher. We're gonna.
Did you go to the U
I
of
did
M?
not go to the U of
I
M.
know, but
Oh, I was like-
Goose did. But
Goose did. Yeah.
Where did you go?
I met him when he was
What's
a.
the Hold on. Pause. Who asked you?
Oh, you guys. So
now we need
last
this.
year we were at just a gathering, and keep in mind the age difference. My husband's one of the eldest on the team, and Brock is the youngest. And someone's like,
this is
"Oh
gonna
my
be good."
gosh, do you know his girlfriend? You guys must have gone to school together." And I said, "Oh no." She was 2 when we were in college. And she's like, she kind of looks at me. I'm like, yes, that is our age difference. Like, she
That's
just
actually a
couldn't-
great compliment. You just. I mean,
It
that's
kind
like,
of is, really.
I mean, it was actually really funny. I was like, no. I graduated a long time ago. But no, so that's the age gap. And people, yeah,
That's
we
great.
didn't overlap at all.
Where did you go to? Where did
I
you?
went to St. Thomas.
Okay,
And we met
nice.
at a Gopher party. So like,
Well, so there you go.
Yeah, Cross River, but I was a freshman when he was a junior. And then he left after junior year.
What do we think of the young Gopher boy?
He's great.
Brock?
Right?
So nice.
Yeah.
He's like
very
a.
kind.
He could almost babysit maybe some of the kids or something.
I would actually probably trust him
Be
to.
a great babysitter. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
So nice.
Who would be the highest risk babysitter on the team?
Oh.
Well, Zuki, right?
No, you know
No,
what?
he's a
I
great
think he'd
dad.
be. Yeah, I think he'd be okay.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
Well, because
Yeah, right?
remember he had to enlist Kirill to come down with
Oh,
him.
down to Florida.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
That's
Maybe
true.
I'll do that.
We had a bit on the podcast where Zuki needed help being a dad, so Kirill moved down to Florida with him to hang out and help.
that's what he was
Okay.
doing.
Yeah.
That's what he was
got it.
doing.
Right.
I don't know
who
would
I'd
be.
Yeah,
pick
that's
either.
a good. That's the right answer. See,
John
I was
just-
testing
John
you.
just-
I was testing you, and you handled that perfectly. You just kind of wiggled out of it. Everyone's great.
I don't.
know,
Yeah, I know.
actually,
I'm kind of trying to
I
think of
wouldn't
one,
think-
and
Like even all the young guys are like they
They're
always
all
play mini
reliable,
sticks
yeah.
with our kids and like they're always right there with them, like very engaged. And I'm like,
Yeah.
everyone's great, actually.
So let's go the other way. So when you're a guy, your wife always has like the friend that if they come over or they asked you to go away for a weekend, you're like totally golden because your wife just thinks they are rock solid and nothing bad's gonna happen and you're great. Who would be some of those guys on the team? Like, oh, if Jared's going fishing with so and so, this is just gonna be great.
probably Alex. Honestly,
I feel like they always
like,
hang out on the road.
two
I
of them.
feel like.
Yeah.
go to dinner.
Yeah, they like the AARP dinner.
Yeah, they do
5:30.
AARP dinner, guys.
Yeah.
They
They
do
do.
AARP dinner, guys.
Jared wants
yeah.
an early dinner.
And Mark
Early bird
Andre
special,
sometimes.
get
in
the
it.
teeth out.
Yeah. You got the older guys.
No
The
reservation
mid to late
needed.
30 guys
Yeah.
usually head out.
But then there's
They
like
need
a
a little
group
more
of
time
young
for the
ones
food to
that tag
digest.
along with
Yes,
them too that like it
sometimes young
early
guys
too.
tag along.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like an AARP dinner?
I eat at
Time to
5.
digest.
Yeah.
Time to relax.
Now with
Great.
kids, like you have
You
to
have
eat
to.
before like
Yeah.
5:30. Otherwise, you guys won't sit down
I
till
hate-
9.
Well, and then like I like to put my kids to bed early. And so if I feed them too late, then it's like dinner, bed, and they don't like that.
Yeah.
I need to
just
like
like your
give them-
husbands. That's why they got to eat at 5.
Right. I have to give them a little buffer time between dinner and bedtime so that they feel like they were, up later.
This is amazing to do with these guys. We got to do rapid fire.
Okay.
God.
You got your
Oh,
stuff.
you guys.
Now, how do we do this? Because there's 2 of you, so
Yeah.
that's
Just
kind of like
alternate.
cheating in a way.
You'll answer first.
Do you want to? How do you want to do this? Because I think it's not fair if they get to hear the other one. Maybe.
I don't think mine matters. I'll go first on this one, but we can alternate.
All right.
First real job.
Oh my gosh. Let me think. My grandpa's restaurant. I was a hostess.
Nice.
I cleaned my dad's offices when I was like 14.
What do you listen to in the car?
Like serious. So either country music or hits, or I have a book on.
Okay.
You do love a good book. Usually Disney Station if I'm with my kids. Christmas music right now, and Pop 2K because I like
Nice.
that station.
First concert you attended.
Gwen Stefani.
Leanne Rhymes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you get a green light in any NHL city. You get to like have a wild night in any NHL city. Where would it be?
Probably, I don't know. I'd say probably Vegas, but I haven't been to Nashville.
say
yet,
Nashville.
and I think I would love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I'd
you
say
would love
Nashville.
it.
Yeah.
Really?
I've never
How have
been,
you
and I
never been to
love
Nashville?
country music, and I like live music.
Yeah. Nashville's a
And-
good time.
I think you'd love old Nashville.
Yeah.
Like old Broadway. Maybe you can still find the spots, but now it's
Now it's a little too busy,
all
too
Bachelorette
mainstream. Yeah,
Yes.
that's no
right
fun.
now.
It's all
Yeah.
23-year-olds in white
like it
boots.
used to be great. You'd pop into Tootsie's and it was just like a stage and
Yeah.
a couple people with a guitar and a good voice. And
Is it
then
not
you-
like that anymore?
no, now it's
now?
like commercial.
Oh, really?
Like up and down, road
too bad.
closed.
It's kind of like
You can
Vegas
still
now.
find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still find it. I think you just have to.
Yeah.
It's still.
Yeah.
It's
Look a
by the
little.
way, it's still awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I gotta go.
To dip in for 3 days, listen to a bunch of good music, and do bad things.
Pet
It's
peeve. Pet peeve. You guys have a pet peeve?
Yeah, but
yeah,
I can't
it's
think
like
of it right
I know,
now.
I've got a bunch, but what are they?
I actually don't know right off the back.
That's
No,
great.
it's like
Nothing
that
bugs you.
annoying. No,
No,
I get
a
bugged
lot of things.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what they are. Like my
My husband.
No,
No.
The schedule.
no.
No, I'd say one of my biggest ones is like just in like when people are inconsiderate. I just really really bothers.
How about on the road? Because you have a lead foot, don't you?
How do you know that?
Gosh. Ooh, where
How
did
do you know that?
Jared has told me.
Oh
Jared
my
has
god.
told me.
Oh my.
I actually am. I have road rage. I do, but
Oh my gosh!
I know,
I
but
picture
you
you
know
drive.
what?
You drive like a huge SUV
I drive a bus.
too, right?
Yeah, but I do,
Perfect.
and I like to like ride people. I don't know. I just get frustrated with people.
Yeah.
You know, like
You're not alone.
no, I'm like if you're not a good driver, you shouldn't be driving. If you don't know how to use a traffic circle,
Oh, the traffic circles.
you know, like, and I don't know.
Is that what
it should
they're
be
called?
Oh, what do you-
Roundabout.
roundabouts?
Call it a roundabout.
We call them traffic circles.
It's roundabout's very Minnesotan too. Roundabout.
Roundabout.
Or Canadian. So
Yeah.
So the road rage thing's great. So
Yeah.
like, would you ever, like, do you ever like tail some? I've had
do.
road rage
A
before,
lot.
where I like follow them for a while.
Really? You're like right there.
Yeah, and my mom's like, they're gonna slam on the brakes and you're gonna hit them. I was like, well, that's dumb. Why would you do that?
Road rage is.
Like, you're supposed to go faster.
So, like, does Jared have to ride in the back seat? Because
No, but
not
he's
big
so
enough with the
funny.
airbag on?
It's actually really funny now. Like every time I have a passenger, and it used to be just Jared who'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like you're gonna make us sick," and now like every time someone else is in there, they all complain. I'm like, "Where do I make everyone sick?"
I like
Just
it.
like gassing and braking.
No, not really. I don't know. I take
noticed it.
turns kind of fast.
So if you're in the car with Jared,
just
Jared, are you driving or does he always drive? If you're in
No,
the
he
car
mostly
together?
drives.
I didn't know if that was like some other nap thing where like they
No, I
can't
prefer
drive on
like
game
I
day.
like to drive, but like I mean, he got a new car, so I like to drive his car a lot. So if
dude, the color of his car is awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
that yeah.
Yeah.
All right, gift card from any store.
Where would you want it to be?
I love Barnes and Noble. I mean, I just like a good bookstore. I'd be like, I'm excited for that. Or like a Lego gift card.
Lego lady.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I would Barnes and Noble too. We both love to read. But also like Nordstrom, where you can find anything you want.
Yeah, that's a good one.
How about a book reco from what do you got? You got something that our listeners should be reading?
What I haven't. I need to start one today. I finished one yesterday. I just finally finished Where the Crawdads Sing. I just finally read it.
Nice.
Yeah, and I
like
liked
it?
it. I did like it.
I like that one too.
What's your guys' reading philosophy? If you start a book, do you have to finish it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I might put it down, and
If it
eventually
loses me, I'll just be like,
I
I'm
know.
I
that's
can't
what's
do
hard
that
to me.
though.
I don't like stick with it. Sometimes I'll come back to it
Yeah.
and read a different one in between that I like, and then try again.
So like you're committed. You're like, I can't give up.
Well, you
on
have
this.
to
Yeah.
you got to
Got
try.
hours
It
in
might
it.
get
I
better,
know.
right?
I need
Brock
to be-
Faber read 6 chapters of The Firm this summer. So if you see him, maybe congratulate him on that.
Yeah, fun fact.
Buying clothes, where do you go?
online.
Online, yeah.
All online.
I hate
I
trying
hate
on stuff
shopping.
in
Yeah,
store.
I do too.
Yeah.
You guys are
Even if
both-
I go to the store, I don't try it on.
No, I'll
They're like, "Do you
buy
want
it
a
and
room?" And I'm
return
like,
it.
"No,
No.
I don't. I'm pretty sure. I just
Yeah.
look at it."
Last thing you binge watched?
The David Beckham
Oh,
documentary.
actually, I'm probably in the
last
same
thing we
boat. I
did.
don't watch a ton of TV.
No.
that was
neither.
wild.
It's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I
liked
really
it.
enjoyed it.
Did you like how with his affair they just go? He goes.
Yeah,
He goes. Everything was going great.
Yeah.
Until that stuff happened, and then they transitioned.
And they
to the
didn't
next
acknowledge
episode.
it at
I know.
all. Yeah,
no,
it
like
was
I'm
weird.
like, this is
Yep.
amazing.
But I
What do you
liked
mean
her.
stuff happened?
I didn't know if I liked her until that documentary, and she didn't
Yeah.
sugarcoat anything. She was like very honest and just like, "Well, that sucked," and I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't know
And
how much happened to them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't
Oh,
really
how
that
about
familiar with
how
their
about
story.
London just eating its own?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Over. I watched the Robbie Williams one too. That place just builds you up and tears
Right.
you down. It's
I had no
horrible.
idea how bad it was.
They're
really,
so
in that
mean. I'm like,
documentary.
oh my
Yeah.
god. I no, that's crazy. I like that Beckham one. That was
It was good. Yeah, I think that's the last thing I watched.
Are there other good shows you've been watched that we need to watch?
No.
I need a show.
I got so many. That's how my empty
I feel like
nester.
I don't watch a lot of TV.
I haven't
I like
watched
this.
anything.
Check out Slow Horses on Apple. It's like these goofball spies. Have you watched it?
Nope.
No, never heard of it.
The Robbie Williams documentary is good too. If you like the Beckham one.
Okay.
So who's your guys' favorite social follow? John has alerted me that you're both on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Like influencer follow?
Yeah, or something. Like
gosh.
who do you like? Who do you follow?
Who brings you joy?
I follow a lot of like recipe bloggers, and I love them. I save all of them. We like to cook. I feel like those are the ones that get me excited. It's like calming to watch their videos of them doing things too. So I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like a lot of like biohackers. You know, like I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
trying to
fascinating
think,
too.
like,
Angie
yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
She posts a lot of stuff to.
Do you know
Are
what
you
a
one of those
biohacker
couples?
is? I don't.
No. Are you one of those couples that sends like recipes, real recipes to your
No.
husband?
No,
and say,
I
"You
just
should
save
make
it
this,"
for
and
myself.
nobody
to
ever
make
makes it.
No, I
No.
just save it for myself
Yeah.
to make.
And say we send each other just what did I send? I don't know.
Yeah, we send each other random funny ones.
Hey, Ryan wanted to ask what a biohacker is.
Well, like it's like some like
Like a lot of the stuff they post might get taken off Instagram because it's like sunshine's healthy for you, and you can't say that on Instagram.
yeah. I'm trying
It's
to think
like
of like
people
how
that
you
have, like,
describe them. Just it's not holistic medicine or by any means. It's just like
Kind of.
it's
Like naturopath, holistic.
Yeah,
people that
just, like,
believe in.
sciencey.
Yeah,
I
like-
like learning about that
to
kind of
keep
stuff.
you
Just how
healthy.
like everything works.
Taking a
Your
2-hour nap
biology
on
just,
game day
Yeah.
Taking
will
a
make
turn
you
nap on
play
game day.
better.
Yeah, things like
Delete.
that.
What's your guys' go-to drink at the bar?
Tequila soda.
Champagne.
She says she.
That's perfect.
I know. So that's the only thing I love to drink, but most bars don't have it, or it's not good.
What's a good champagne?
Oh, I don't know, anything dry.
Okay.
But that's the problem. It's like if you
Like
know.
Vouv or something?
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
How about at home? Go-to drink at home?
Champagne. Yeah. But if I'm at a bar,
Tequila,
it's probably like a
mezcal.
vodka soda.
Yeah.
No.
Alex and I drink a lot of
I'm off
mezcal.
tequila.
A lot of what?
Mezcal?
Yeah, the smoky stuff.
Yeah.
It's your birthday. Where are you going to dinner?
Oh, it's a fun question. There's so many good restaurants around here.
I know.
I mean, we love Spoon and Stable and Billy. Mm-hmm. We love Travail. I don't know. So
That
many
was
good
fun. I've
options.
only ever been there that one time with our group, and I liked that. That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat though. Yeah, I like you always bring us to new places, which is
Yeah,
fun.
we like to try out different ones.
Yeah, I'm kind of just like tried and true. I just, you know, and I'm last minute, so it's like how you do a good job at like booking a couple
I look at the
months
guys'
in advance.
schedules and I'm like, there's these 4 days this month that we can get out, and I make sure I book the reservations just because.
I'm
and if
like-
I have to cancel them, I will. But it's so hard. I feel like you can't get reservations anymore.
No, you can't. I'm
Like
like
last
day of, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, text
This
Gavin.
is awesome. You guys should have your own podcast. It's so good. I'm just like, if you just feel like it's like a crackling fire here, I'm just like sitting in front of it. It's so good. Who plays you in the movie? Actress.
Oh God. Yeah,
I have no
I
idea.
don't know either. I feel like that's a weird question
That's
to
a great
answer
question.
about
it is a weird
yourself.
question.
Connor
Because if
Dewar,
you answer
Christian
someone
Bale.
like really like good
Connor
look,
Dewar,
you know, and
Christian
you're
Bale.
like,
like laughing at his Halloween costume.
It's also
is that
interesting
what I think of myself?
to
or
know where
like,
people go with it. Some people go strictly on appearance.
An appearance.
Other
Yeah.
people go based on like who they like as an actor.
yeah, but does that
Yeah.
mean like they're like me?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's
that's
kind of
really
a
tough
vain question. It's
I've
all-
never actually
yeah.
even thought about that. I'm not sure.
I don't either. I don't know why anyone would make a movie
Yeah,
about me.
no one would want to make a movie about me anyway. So
They might. The
We don't
first
need to
time
worry
you
about
did a
that.
Christmas card.
If you could be in a movie, what movie would it be?
Oh, the
Bridesmaids?
rom-com.
That's
No,
that
I want to
movie?
be in a
Rom-com
romantic
for
comedy.
sure.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
Or like a drama maybe.
Sweet Home Alabama. Okay, so perfect weekend. What are you doing?
Nothing. A perfect weekend to me is having absolutely nowhere to go.
John and I have talked about this. I used to be like a full-fledged extrovert, but now I'm turning into like an introvert.
You are.
Yes.
With age or because of
I
COVID?
don't know. It's age, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just can't hang
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
It's just hard. There's only so many hours in a day.
And being
and
tired
I'm just-
isn't
oh,
fun. I don't like being tired and feeling hungover. It's not enjoyable when I know you have to get up and like function the next morning.
Yeah, there's-
that's my problem.
usually-
I
Hangover,
still
like, one
like
as a
to do
parent.
that.
You still, like,
so
you're-
I'm still up till 4 in the
You
morning.
are.
Because Jared has to
But
drag me
Jared-
out.
Jared is me
Drag
and
me
Alex
out.
is you. Or like you
Yeah.
guys are sleeping peacefully while we get everyone ready to get out the door.
It's true. I am useless in the
Speaking-
house
Yeah.
if Jared's home.
Speaking 4 a.m., I need to know.
I am being dragged out of places.
She
You
is
Jer-
FOMO
If
at-
you do not,
No.
if Jared's not around, I don't leave.
No, she
I
will
will
not.
not leave. I might sleep there.
I Houdini out. We like.
I can't.
So you
leave.
can go the distance.
She goes
I,
the distance.
Yeah, I have a hard
Houdini
time
out
not.
at an early time, and she's usually the last man.
Still
standing.
kicking, and Jared's like, "I'm gonna go home with Amanda," and Alex and I are like, "Sweet,
Now, are you?
we'll
are
get a
you-
car."
Most lights in her life sound red, but when she gets the green light, she likes the
Yeah.
highway.
But are you partying or are you just like talking? Like, are you like? Because I get the thing if I'm having fun,
Yeah,
it's like the thing I'm most afraid of in the world is like losing my buzz. Even though I've like drank enough
Yeah.
to be
No,
drunk
that's
for
fair.
3 days,
Yeah.
and so I will keep going. I'll drink the 5 Coors Light. I don't
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
1 in the morning.
Well,
or are you
that's
just
fair
sitting
when you're
around?
no, I'm pretty good at figuring out. Like, I can like kind of. I'm like, all right, so I feel however good, and I've got so many hours, and I'll kind of
just gonna surf it,
Yeah,
ride
for the
it
most
out.
part, just because I know it might hurt the next day. But I just don't. I like to just be. I don't like to leave.
You just like to be. She just likes to be with everybody.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to miss anything.
No.
Well,
I
you,
am
you
FOMO.
you do know
for
the
sure.
podcast is going to end at some point.
I know, and it's gonna be sad. You're gonna
Are
have
you-
to kick me out.
Are you guys sleep divas like your husbands? Like, for example,
I don't think they
they
can
come
be.
they come back at what 4 in the morning from
Yeah.
Seattle. Are you like, do not wake me up? You guys, you sleep
Separate
on the
room,
couch,
maybe?
you go to the
Oh,
basement.
no.
You have a sleep room.
No.
You can. I wasn't even home, but you can. Yeah, no.
She was still out at a
totally
party.
cool.
Still
I,
out.
I was still out.
She was at a,
Still
like a
out.
football game still. At 3
No,
in
I
the
feel like I
morning.
just turn the sound machine on and just get up and close our door.
Sound machines are key.
They are key.
I can't sleep with one of those.
I can't
feel
either, but I
like-
turn it on for Alex when I get
Oh,
up.
gotcha.
What sound do you listen to on the sound machine?
The white noise.
Yeah, fans.
And Alex needs it.
I do it just to drown out whatever noise is happening out there. My daughter is very loud in the morning, so I just to drown it out, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I think
he
guys
doesn't
travel
wake up
with
to
it.
anything.
They
I mean,
do.
you can have
Jared
a crying
brings
baby,
his.
and they don't.
Jared brings
wake
his
up.
humidifier too.
No,
Because
no,
that's one of
no.
our questions on the podcast.
He,
like, weirdest thing
he
you bring in
asks
your
for them
bag.
in the hotel room. So I'm going to a hockey tournament with Zach, and I'm talking about something. I'm like, it's really dry in here. I'm in the hotel room. He goes, well, just call down and get a humidifier.
Oh, they have
I'm
those like at the front
Jared,
desk?
I'm not at a 5-star hotel.
this
There's
isn't
no
the
way the
Holiday
Holiday
Inn.
Inn in Fargo has a humidifier.
The Holiday Inn is not cleaning those things.
Yeah, he's
out.
like, well,
Full on
put your plush
hard
Like,
robe on.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
call down, they'll bring one up for you.
No.
I'm like, we're at vastly
Yeah.
different hotels.
Like, leave your shoes
Right.
outside. They'll shine them up.
Right.
And then they'll be
Like,
there.
you are out of your mind. They don't have a humidifier for
You
me.
guys ever get rattled at that? Because I used to get in trouble for this when
my
like
God,
I'd
yeah.
call from the 5-star hotel after eating a steak meal and be like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
So tired. That when they're like, it was such a long day. I'm so tired.
Yeah, or Joe will be in his room and he's like,
sick
oh.
of eating steak.
He's like,
Yeah.
you're just sitting down
Just wanna
watching a
come
show.
home.
And I'm like, no, I'm not watching a show. I'm packing lunches, doing laundry,
Right.
making
Like,
the
what are you
world go
doing? He's like,
round.
I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
I'm watching TV. It's just, I'm bored and tired. Maybe I'll head to bed. I'm like, oh, it sounds terrible.
so bad
You're in a
for you.
5-star
relationship
hotel, at,
dynamics are the best.
5-star restaurants.
Like, don't complain to me.
I got a question. So youth hockey, right? You got the kids playing. I think both of you do. So how does that? What's that dynamic like? Because then in that world, you're a hockey mom, but then you got the NHL connection, and like I mean, would you ever be like the team manager, even though you're
No.
still running the wags?
Gosh,
and like,
no.
so like, what? Like, how does?
Still
And are
running
people always like? I mean, how does that work? Like the hockey, when you're doing hockey with your own family, and then you got the NHL thing. Do you just kind of keep it low key?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Luth,
Low profile, low key. There's no last names on jerseys yet. Some people
We
don't
have
know.
last names.
Oh, do you at 6?
Oh, yeah.
See, 7-year-olds don't quite
No,
yet.
no.
And so you can kind of fly under the radar, and no one really knows unless they know who you are.
which is
Like
nice.
the coach looks at a roster and recognizes the name, but
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. You just kind of, unless they go. Sometimes, like if they're available to go to the practice, people will recognize.
Yeah.
But
But
beyond
no,
that, no.
low key. It's a lot of work. I mean, I
It's a
look
lot
at
of
our
work.
team managers, and oh my god, I don't even know I wouldn't even know where to begin. Or like an ice manager, you know? I'm like,
yeah.
No.
how do you know?
And dealing with
What you're
all the
doing.
parents of it,
Yeah.
I could never. It's a lot.
It's
Do
fascinating.
your
No.
boys or girls pregame nap before
No,
games?
Zach, no.
See, that's proof. It's just
No.
it's just a big NHL lie.
Yeah.
You gotta earn your
It is.
naps.
You got to earn. Okay, so that's
earn your nap.
No, you
that's a
gotta earn 'em.
National League thing.
Yeah. I mean, Zach
So think
doesn't
about
even
that. They
eat, like, a
never do
pregame
it
meal.
growing up. When do you, so you make the NHL and like they're like,
No,
hey,
it's like,
No,
favorite.
I would say the
juniors?
correlation is like once you start to get your sticks and gear paid for, you start napping
Yeah.
because it becomes real. That could be
Yeah.
junior hockey.
I'd say I think
Like,
Jared
do
started
college
in junior.
athletes pregame nap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, really?
Wow, if
Do they have
I,
classes?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah.
You could nap any time in college.
Well, that's true. Napping was different then, but
Yeah.
like on game day on a weekend, did you pregame nap?
I think so because if you recall, college too is always back to back.
Okay.
So it's always game
That's
Friday night,
true. I
then
didn't
Saturday.
think
So
about
you'd
that.
be
Oh.
you'd be burning the midnight oil, and then you have to play the next.
Yeah,
one.
and that makes sense if you're actually tired.
Well, and then you play in college, and then you go out after.
What,
so you
in-
definitely have to nap to sleep
yeah.
off the hangover to play the next night.
In hindsight, I don't think I was ever really tired in college.
Yeah.
You don't know tired until you're like,
Until you have.
You don't know tired till you
Yeah.
actually are. And you're
yes,
like, oh,
that's like young kids,
that's true.
NHL, by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, is there anything we didn't ask you that you wanted us to ask you?
No, you know what? I think you covered it all.
Well, we got deep into the Instagram and very impressive Instagrams, very different, the two of you. I thought they were both very enjoyable.
I got one last one. Your husband's like hockey players, superstitious, routine based. Your husband's have anything goofy?
Not really. Jared's gotten pretty good at not
Yes.
reading into it anymore. Just because you have to kind of give a lot of that control up, you know, once you do have kids, because sometimes they, like, there are games every once in a while where he can't nap or, like,
Right.
you know, and he was kind of like, oh, I've got to change things up. And then he realizes that it really didn't
Yeah.
change anything anyway.
Yeah.
And so I think he's kind of easing up
There's
on,
still words I feel like we don't say on purpose.
like, what?
I don't know, like when you're getting to playoffs or something, and you're gonna say like,
Oh, yeah.
well, you gotta like, I don't know. There's certain words
I
like
feel
when
like
you
the
get to that
girls
time
are
of
more
year,
superstitious.
Yeah,
so
the
like
girls
all
are
the same clothes.
superstitious.
And I'm like, our clothes
and you're like, we
are
wear
wear
not
the same
going to
outfit
affect
every game?
You're like,
the
in
outcome.
the playoffs, if you like, if they win, you wear the same sweatshirt for the next game.
Yeah, and I'm
Really?
like, that's not going to
Yes.
make us
And
win,
when the
you
guys
guys.
are on the road, they're like, we all have to wear this.
I think
to
that
come
might
over.
help them win.
I don't,
right?
or
I
we'll be
think
does.
sitting
It's
and
just
they'll
like
be
the
like, that was a
naps.
bad period. Everyone switch. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. Like when you guys dial it up and get
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
that.
But I feel like that's the only time that
Playoffs
get
is
weird.
Yeah, playoffs are
Yeah.
weird. Otherwise, I
Playoffs.
don't
I
think
feel.
they're
I remember
really-
Alex in Pittsburgh when Olive Garden was like sweet. I mean, still is sweet. Let's,
Still
let's
is
be honest.
sweet.
Honestly, it's incredible. But
Yeah.
they used to eat a pregame meal at Olive Garden, the whole team, which was comical to me to look back on. And he would get chicken parm until they lost, and then he'd go to the next thing. And now he doesn't do that, and he doesn't care where he eats. But he used to have
Stick to
one
one
meal
food?
for every game until they lost. and that's when they were on a roll in Pittsburgh.
That's the Sidney Crosby influence, though.
I
You're
don't know.
saying
It might have been.
Sidney Crosby and the Penguins were going to Olive Garden?
They sure were.
superstitious.
Well, I don't know if he was there. I don't know if he went with them, but I know
he was there, right?
No,
He
he
won
was on the team, but I don't know if he went with them because it was hard
That
to
is
like.
awesome. We should get the
anywhere.
Wild to do that. They should
I
just
bet
go
they
to
all
Olive
love it.
Where's the local Olive Garden?
There's an
There's
Olive
one
Garden,
in
isn't there?
Bloomington, I
Oh,
believe.
is there? They should go
I think
there.
there's one in Maplewood, too.
But I remember him eating the same thing until they lost, and that faded away. But I remember that like when we were dating, and I'm like, oh, you have chicken parm again?
I've heard that Crosby's like that, though, because I think it was talking. One of the coaches had a suit on for a playoff game. They lost, and then he was going to wear the suit again. And he said, no, you can't wear that suit. Last time you wore it, we lost.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if he was part of that lunch gang because I remember at that time too, it was hard for him to go anywhere because people were so
Sidney Crosby.
like obsessed with him.
Sure.
And it was hard for him to go in public. So even when we had team parties, it was hard.
Yeah.
If we were in a public place. So I don't know if he was in that group, but there was a big group that went to Olive Garden.
Olive Garden
Olive
might be the
Garden, and
one
it's-
place he could go.
Well, and if you think the Olive Garden is always busy on
Especially
a
in the lunch hour because they have the
I
Oh, you can eat salad
you
and
can
soup.
eat salad and
Yeah.
breadsticks.
that would be really busy.
Great
though.
Yeah.
breadsticks.
Last one from me. Do the guys have any special dietary needs? Like pregame meal has evolved. You touched on
It
that.
has evolved.
Like I remember when I was young, I'd be like, "Hey, I need this pregame meal," and it would kind of be ready at a certain time because you're setting your whole day
Wait,
up.
did your wife cook it for you?
Well, sometimes.
Wow.
I used to cook Jared's
But that was
pregame for a
before
long
kids.
time,
That was
too.
I know, but that's
pre-kids.
still nice.
Yeah.
I didn't do that before kids either. You used to
I
cook it
cooked.
too?
I cooked until until the third kid.
You're very kind.
You're on
I
your own,
took
big
up-
guy.
I
It
said there's
took my
lots of
whole
restaurants,
morning.
go
I
find
would
some
start
food.
at 9. I'd start at 9, and then he would eat at noon.
But you can't do a Christmas
So
card.
I had
insane.
I used to eat the
I give
pregame
that
meal
up.
with my
No,
oldest
yeah.
I wanted
daughter,
to collect addresses.
and so she'd have like 4 meals a day. Hindsight, we maybe shouldn't have gave her that extra meal of pasta, chicken, everything else. But
It's good for her.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we bonded a lot of pictures of us eating our pregame
Yeah.
meal together. It's
I,
because
I
it's
liked
all
it
over
though.
our
He was
face.
home earlier. I didn't have anywhere to be. The kids were young, you know, so like we were home anyway.
Yeah.
And
very nice
then
of you.
and then it just got to the point where I was like, you gotta do it yourself now. This is a lot
Yeah.
of work. This isn't how I want to spend my mornings anymore.
Yeah.
It's every other day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, no,
for you.
it's been quite a few years
never
since
done
I've
that.
done it. We don't do it.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, like my life already revolves completely around you. So like I just have these little moments.
So what's it like the season ends?
It's heaven.
Yeah, is it almost like
Book your trip and
Here's-
you're out
here's
of
the
here.
kid.
Off
No,
season.
honestly, we're like book a trip because you don't have time to travel. Like you see all the families going on their vacays all year, and you're like,
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
we
it's
we take
finally
a
our
family
time to
trip or
take a big
something.
trip.
Well, and Jared always takes like a good month off of doing absolutely nothing, and so that's nice because he doesn't leave the house like in the mornings or he's nowhere to be, and so it's just nice like to just hang out and just spend like a normal like I love what I think I like the most is when you actually get your real weekends when like Friday and Saturday are real nights and
Yeah.
Sunday is a real weekend morning because during the season that is not a thing. And everyone around you is like, "What are you doing on the weekend?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Like,
when
when's
is
the
it?
weekend?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh, our weekend falls on Tuesday." You know,
Right.
like
It's very
it's
true.
yeah. So I like that part of the off season when you get like a little glimpse of like
normal.
real scheduled.
That's true.
No, it's
You know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that is nice."
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, we usually just book it out to the cabin and then plan a vacation, and we
Just
check out.
zone out.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
I know.
Well, it sounds like Amanda's the planner, so we're gonna have to book these ladies to come back in a second time.
I
I don't think we covered everything.
I could talk all day
Yeah.
with these guys.
John wants to
So
be
many
a wag.
questions.
And are you guys both
John
cake, are you
wants to
cake
be
eaters now?
Oh, it's upsetting.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't grow
Yeah.
up a cake eater, and I'm being judged by a lot of people for
Yeah.
So
saying
I
that.
feel like I'm
Really?
being judged too, and I'm like, I'm not even
Terrible.
from.
I mean, I made
Minnesota.
fun
here-
of them my
no.
whole life.
No, it's good to be a cake eater.
I mean,
I-
now that I live there, I have zero
Yeah.
regrets.
Yeah,
But like
it
when
is.
you go
It's-
from like a different suburb that you grew up making fun of to like that one, and you tell your cousins you're moving there, like you're
Like,
what?
why would you do that?
So I grew up there, and
You
the-
grew up in
grew up in
Edina?
Edina?
Can't you
Yep.
tell he
You're a
still wears the
full-on
Hornet
cake eater.
colors?
Hold on.
I
Full-on
did not
cake eater.
know that.
I know they don't
This
even
is-
look
if
good
you-
on them.
So you got to lean into it.
I have.
So when
I love
people
it.
are like upset about it, so say you win a game like 7-0,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's upset, and then you just look at them and go, "It's the natural order of things."
This is why they
This is
hate.
how
This
it's
is
supposed to
why
be.
Edina is
Why-
hated.
yes, it's
I've been
Because
I've
of
been-
John?
No, but
Yes.
I've been
Keep going.
talking to people, and you know, and like I was like, well, why is it such an like Why do people hate it so much? And they were telling us some of their high school cheers that they would sing. And I was like, well, that's
we
why
don't,
they
we
hate
don't
you.
do that anymore.
You
yeah.
What are
can't
they?
say
Can you
that.
remember
Yeah,
them?
what are they?
Yeah, we got. That's all
John-
right. That's
John
okay.
did the
You're
cheers.
gonna
Gonna
work for us someday.
Yeah.
That's a
Which
big
is
one.
as if, like, yeah, I would hate you
That's
too.
that's a bad one. Yeah, we did that one a lot.
Yeah, John
I don't
was
think
he
we
was
do that.
leader of the cheering section.
I actually probably was. Pretty
God.
nothing's actually changed for me.
I was amazed.
I'm just
I was
on
like,
the
that's for
fringes.
sure why people hate you. But I mean, so when we first came, we were, I think, one season off. So the whole team used to live in Woodbury. That was kind of like everyone was there.
And I grew
then-
up out there, and so when we got traded back, I was like, do people still live way out there?
Well, and they did. And then
Way out
the
there.
next year, everyone had moved to Edina. And we don't really know why, but when we signed, like when we
That's a
came,
good choice.
we asked, where are we moving? Like, you kind of just ask. You're like, where do people live? And everyone was like, everyone's moving to Edina now. And I'm like, cool. I don't know what that is. I don't know where it is, but I just want to live where everyone else lives. And we just ended up there. And then I kind of, slowly started learning that it was just,
I think what happened was they,
I love it though.
do
they
you live
used
out
to-
in that?
Just
yeah.
embrace
they
it.
used to live out on the east side a little bit, and then St. Paul. It was such an easy path into St. Paul on 94, and then the practice facility started to. There was rumblings that it was going to be like St. Thomas up off of like
Oh,
494.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and we would practice. Like, that's where we'd have to drive and dress different times. We didn't have a practice rink. So then guys started to move to Edina because that was closer to what was going to be the practice area.
Mendota Heights is nice too. That area right in there.
Yeah, we looked to live there once. One
So
year.
that's why I think the migration went from Woodbury.
Yeah, well, and then like people, I think it was, I don't know, I remember the Schultzes lived there and they had kids and they were like, it's really good for schools and sports. And so, I don't know, I was like, okay, cool, we're all moving that way. And that was fine. I mean, I would never live anywhere else now. I love it. I mean, it's home now.
It's
I
just
wouldn't say anything bad about it. I was like, I love
Do you
it
still
there.
live in Edina then?
no. I live in White Bear Lake with.
Oh.
But I will tell you, here's a Edina story. When I was in grade school, a couple kids got in a fight at Our Lady of Grace, and
our kids go to school
Our kids
there.
go to OLG.
yeah, and I was the student council president. Big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
First boy girl dance. So they go outside and they're gonna have a fight, and I swear to God, they go nothing in the face.
Oh my
Started
gosh.
fighting. I mean, it was unbelievable. They go, hey,
not in the
No
moneymaker.
faces.
nothing in the
that.
face.
Not the
And then they just
moneymaker.
started punching each other's
like where in the
bodies.
Could you
stomach?
imagine?
I don't know, in the arm, in the body, but they were
How
eighth
old?
graders.
Oh, eighth grade.
Seventh, eighth graders.
All right.
Yeah. So that's when you know you're in the right spot.
Hey, if you guys haven't picked up a gift for your husbands for Christmas
I
yet,
haven't yet.
Yeah,
you have
what do you-
there's a
ideas?
chance
What do you
that
think? Do you think
you
they'd
could-
like?
oh wow, he'd love
Wow.
that.
That's
Yes.
nice, right?
You would
That
love
is-
that.
I mean, I think that's big.
John's got,
And also, it's got a hockey
talking about
stick
John's
for
watch.
the second.
Yeah.
Do you think the guys would like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Because
Stocking
they
stuffer.
play on the wild,
They do.
They do.
so then you could give them the wild watch.
They love.
Where's
to
your
advertise
hour?
it as
Let's-
well.
It's off by an hour right now. But if it said
Oh,
like,
Perfect.
but if you said like, what time is it, and you'd be like, time for hockey, honey.
Jared's
And
not a watch guy.
Well, he would be if he had an Invicta.
he would.
I'm actually upset that that wasn't the 1,000 game gift.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that should.
it should have been it.
hey,
Maybe they have a women's one with
we
diamonds.
have to-
I
I
could
want
have
that
got
one.
you.
we
that.
have to keep this going. I'm sorry, but that was maybe the greatest moment of last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Was Alex's celebration night.
That was fun.
Into OT winner.
that
Like,
was
I
really
think
fun.
I was
I love
tearing
it.
up.
I think he cried.
I was crying. he was
tearing up.
crying. Everyone was
Crying.
crying.
And then it was the most heartfelt. So he's player of the game. He's talking to
Yep.
Kevin Gorg after, and just talking to the fans, saying, "Stick with us." Like
He
like,
saved
we
our
care.
season,
Yeah, he saved the
actually.
season.
Yeah.
On that night, what a special night! How was that? Because
It
I'm
was
sure
very
the whole
emotional.
family was there.
Yes, we were all there, and it was super emotional, just based on how the season had been too for him. And to finally get a chance, and he went out and actually scored. I remember I was like jumping. I almost like we were up in the suite, and I remember holding my daughter. I'm like, okay, hold on to her because she could have like gone over the front, but I had like
I need a
out
moment.
of body experience for a minute, and I couldn't believe it. It was
So
really
great.
special. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and the way
And that's what's crazy.
crying
1,000
after. It was
games sometimes boils down to just a couple of moments. That's what I recall from playing is like you do it for 10 years, but really what defines your whole time is like tiny little moments. And
yeah.
Just little games.
something tells me that might be one for him. It was
Yeah.
special. It was cool as a broadcaster.
was.
That's one that I'll remember
Yeah.
for a long time. But
No, it was
As
really-
well as the Spurgeon back check last year, where he
yeah,
came
that was,
back.
that was a saver.
Remember
The old,
where
I-
the old
were you,
pickpocket.
was not at
did
that
you
game.
cry when
Was
he did
it,
that
was
back
that a
check?
home game?
I don't know. Where was that? It was
Yeah.
a great play.
It was
I wasn't
home
there.
against the Ducks. I think it was Troy Terry on a breakaway.
I got a
Spurgeon
text
went
about it.
Superman mode,
think any of us were there.
pickpocket.
Where were we? Why? I
I
don't.
don't know. None of us were there. I feel
Are
like.
you sure it was home? It must have been, yes, because the crowd was cheering. No, because I got a video.
Yeah.
of it. Someone sent me a video.
I'm pretty sure.
people
You were
cheering.
still at a party from the night
I
before,
probably was.
sitting on a pool table or something, talking to people.
Just sitting. I know.
Hey, we should wrap up. Well, you guys are great, man. I love having
Yeah, we'll see you
come
next
out.
week.
We'll get new
This is a
outfits
regular
next time.
thing. Yeah.
We'll get this. We got to do better. I don't know what our next occasion is, but and if you do a holiday card,
It's too late now.
New Year's card, maybe
New Year's card, maybe
Year's card.
Valentine's Day.
take a picture
Do a
from the
poem.
tinsel room.
Poem.
Make sure it's
I'm a
card
poet.
stock. Can't be like photo
Yeah, card stock.
paper.
Don't put small photos on it. People don't like that.
And if you don't get
You
it
want a
from
big one?
Shutterfly or Tiny Prints, you have to probably emboss that on the back by
What's
yourself. or
minted?
use
I've
jug.
used minted.
Minted's
Minted is
good.
good
Yeah, you'd be
too.
more of a
Yeah,
minted person.
Oh,
They have fun
why?
metallics.
Is it?
It's just kind of champagne.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
there you
Maybe
go.
that's why it was so
I like what you
expensive.
They're all owned by like the same company,
Yeah.
so it's just perception.
Do you
I
guys
think.
understand that it's all starting to make sense now? John's from Edina. He grew up there. He has to send out the greatest
So,
Christmas
is
card.
your family
cardstock,
there? Like, why
golden
did you
seal.
leave?
Yeah.
We left. We lived over by Braemar,
Oh, I live over there.
Indian
So,
Hills. So we were Paiute Circle.
Oh, okay.
in
We
the
were
little
on Mohawk
cul-de-sac.
Trail at
Yes.
one point.
It's cool when you can drive in there and no one else knows how to do
It
anything.
is cool until
like
like,
a bat
the
cave.
school deems that you live too close and your kids have to walk to school.
Ooh,
You're like,
that's not
well,
good.
that's not a
kids
walkable
have a golf
neighborhood.
cart.
I know I should have. We ended up moving. So
My parents moved to Orono when I was in college, and then I never went back. A lot of Edina people go back, but
yeah,
I
I'm
figure it
learning
was
that
like-
too.
Yeah.
I think if you survive Edina once, like I don't think I would go back.
No.
No,
You still talk highly of it.
I do. I like it. I
where's
had a
the
good
colors?
experience there, but it's a lot of like, it's like going to
tough
It's
upbringing?
like growing up in. It's different.
It's tough
Yeah.
being a soch.
It's interesting.
it's a
though.
soch.
I mean, even like on Zach's hockey team, for example, I'm like learning all these dynamics that people had when they went to high school
Correct.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because
Like,
it'll be like, well,
so-
his dad was cool, but now his kid is in the band, but then the mom used to be. It's. I don't like layers like.
Yeah, there's a lot of history
is.
involved, and I was like, I don't know if I'd want to.
No, I don't
want
want
to
to
the
think
same
back
place
to
that
that.
I went to school in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's different.
Well, go Hornets.
It's fun being on the outside, though. I'll say I like that.
Yeah.
You should listen, sit back.
Yeah, you do. You get to
Watch
hear.
I
it
like
all.
that. So you got high maintenance on the NHL team because you're a WAG. It's a full-time job. But then when you do youth hockey, you're just kind of
You just
in
sit
the
back.
weeds,
Yeah.
chilling
Very nice.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you just hang. It's
But then
quite
you have
fun.
a lot of dads be like, "Do you need help tying those skates?" I'm like,
I'm like,
Oh,
oh, I got
wow.
it.
got it.
I got,
Got
it.
it.
Yeah. Got a lot of these. I don't have to tie skates. Just Jace, I guess.
Yeah.
It is nice that we're like a year or two away from them
Almost.
tying.
They're almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
nice.
that's
In Edina, you probably have the skate key, to tie.
there's a
little-
key.
Wait, what's that?
Yeah, we had one. Yeah.
Oh, obviously we're not Edina enough to not.
Yeah, you put it in where the laces
Yeah, and then you
cross just pull. Yeah,
Oh.
That might save my.
It's the
I
pinky
know. It's
saver.
like the,
I feel like I have like calluses on my
Agree.
index finger.
it works. I'm not saying it's a great look.
maybe you throw it in your Christmas card.
I don't
and
know.
send it
You,
our way.
and as an NHL mom, I don't know if I would use a key.
No,
Be
it might
careful
look a
with that.
little.
Might show up on Instagram.
It's
or
like
Twitter.
using like the wheelie bag. Jared's like, never wheel it.
no
I
wheel.
have a wheelie bag.
He says, don't wheel it. He says you got to throw it
got a
over your
wheelie bag.
shoulder. I'm like, well,
I guess we're cake eaters. Then.
yeah, I guess.
Wheelies.
Yeah.
You might be.
Maybe.
Oh well, thank you so much. This was awesome, and you're welcome
Thank
back
you.
anytime.
Thanks
if
for having
if you
us.
want to invite us to your parties, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
And,
Come on over.
But you
stop
have to have a
in.
sweater. You can't
You
wear
do.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
not as holiday as Ryan was today.
No,
A little bit more.
This is my dad fit.
it's nice.
It's a good
I like
fit.
it. Yeah. Are you hot?
No.
Oh.
What,
It
I got
looks
the
warm.
furnace face
No,
on?
it just looks warm. It
do
looks
get the
like a
flannel.
flannel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then you have an undershirt on under. You have a shirt under.
Never wear an undershirt.
I always wear an
You
undershirt.
do?
No.
Yeah.
Is that to protect from sweat?
No, sensitive areolas.
Oh, and that's the
too.
way to end it right there. That's the last line of the pod. We're here.
We made it full circle. We did it.